Hello, my Teaser King family. How's everybody today? It's a cold day out there today, a little snow, a little bit chillier. Hope everybody's okay. We're getting ready for the weekend and the NFL playoffs. So, first thing first, let's go through the lines. Where are we looking? We got San Francisco 9.5, 42.5, nothing different. San Diego, we've got 2.5, 47.5. We've got Buffalo 13.5, 43.5. We got Minnesota 3 and 48.5. We've got Cincinnati 9.5 and 40.5. And we've got Dallas 2.5, 45.5. So I'm still waiting to see. It doesn't really matter if Lamar, it's the same thing. If he's playing, I go to Baltimore injury. And as of now, he is doubtful with the knee. So it did change. It was questionable this morning. Didn't practice. So he hasn't practiced in 6 weeks. I doubt he's playing. Then we get into the question of, is the backup playing? I think he is. Gus Edwards questionable. Duvernay's out. Tyler Huntley's questionable with the shoulder. So you're not even sure he's going to play. If he's got a bad shoulder, if it's his throwing shoulder, he's not even going to be able to throw the ball. It makes Joe Burrow look better and better and better, boys, because Joe Burrow is going to the Super Bowl. So they got to start here. So we did the trans yesterday. So we don't really see much going on. Seattle, Frisco, 9.5. And again, I count when I go into these, you can see different lines. So is there a 9? Yeah, there is a 9. So Frisco, there's a 9 on God knows what the site is. And the rest are 9.5. And then there's 110 and 9. So mostly 9.5s and a 10. You still can get a 9 on the Niners, which I advise to go 3. Although if you want, you go 10, you go 16 in Seattle. San Diego, there's still a 1.5. It's the same site. San Diego on this crazy site is 1.5. There's a 2 and another 2. So there are 1.5s and 2. So it's not, you can still get a good, you really want to get you prefer to get 4.5 or 4 plus in this. This will be a very close game. That's for sure. You're not going to blow out San Diego. San Diego might blow out Jacksonville because Lawrence, but I don't see it the other way. Miami, Buffalo, 13.5. I don't see any 13s there. Many of the Giants, who cares? Baltimore, Cincy, we just looked at. And then the last one, Dallas, Tampa, 2.5s, 2.5s. Everything's 2.5. Now, is that not? Why isn't it 3? Does that pop into your mind? Like, why isn't that a 3-point spread? So if I go through the games, so we got Frisco. They're just the best team. In the playoffs, things are different. Now, if I look at, let's take the best defense. Seattle gives up 24 a game, just on average, not the last few weeks or anything. Frisco's 16. Frisco's the best defense in the league. So you don't have to worry about they're going up against this real good defense, the 84 Bears, the Lawrence Taylors, even the Ray Lewises. You don't have to worry about that. So therefore, that was the biggest problem for the Raiders. They could not handle the Steeler defense. They couldn't handle the Miami defense. The Raiders weren't a good defensive team. They were a good offensive team. That's why they had problems. That's why the Cowboys had problems. They had that good offense, but they threw too much. And when you throw that much, you then don't rest your defense, and that's why you don't win Super Bowls and playoff games. That's when Namath won. He had the best defense, but we went over that yesterday. Earl Morrall should get a ring from the Jets. So San Diego 2. Let's look at the defense. Jacksonville's at 21. San Diego's at 25. Now we put a little asterisk. Wait a minute. They played Houston, and they played Tennessee, and they play Indy. Nobody has an offense in that. So it's almost like Buffalo against New England, the Jets, and Miami. But the Miami offense got better, and the Jets got better. And look, we're Buffalo. They're an 18. So we can't use that as the defense really isn't that good because they play 6 games with teams without offenses. So we have to go away from that. The Jets, look at their offense. Where are they? Come on, Jets, Jets. Where are you? Oh, okay. Yeah, they're a pretty low-scoring offense. They don't have a quarterback. So that's 2 games. Buffalo gets a week, no offensive team. But anyway, so Miami's a 20. Well, San Diego is a 25. Jacksonville is a 21. So if we're playing, Jacksonville's got the easier defense. However, Joey Bosa's back, and you're not going to score 25 on Joey Bosa. The reason you got 25 is he's been out. But now he's healthy, and Khalil Mack and James, you're not scoring 25 on this. So you're probably going to get 20 on San Diego. And that's why I like getting 4.5. Jacksonville's a 21. And as we said, against those offenses. So, if we look at them even against Tennessee got 16 on them without a quarterback. And if we go back a week, I know Baltimore put up 27. And then Jacksonville, let's go back against Houston, 31-3. So Houston, again, they're playing a team with no offense. So again, Houston doesn't show anything. So is Jacksonville's 21 legit? But if we just take it superficially, so it's pretty even, 25-21 with Bosa. It's probably a 21 against the 21. So pretty even game, better quarterback in Herbert, better offense, Keenan Allen. So this should be Jacksonville lane 3. So this is really strange there's 2 real strange spreads here. San Diego favored when it should be Jacksonville, and Dallas favored when it should be Tampa. So what do? We take advantage of it. We don't analyze the spread from the standpoint of, Vegas wants me to do this and Vegas wants me to do that, right? That's not what it's about. It's about Vegas on the game. So they think, well, more people are going to bet Dallas, more people are going to bet San Diego, and we're close to LA, and a lot of the LA people at least used to drive down, a few years ago. I don't know if that's still the case. I imagine it is, and they come watch the games. So you got all this LA money coming to bet on it. So they know they're getting it. So this isn't a true spread. Anyway, so basically pretty even. I like San Diego to win. I love them as the dog. Unfortunately, they're not. Probably just play a teaser in the game, but you're probably safe for taking Herbert than you are taking Lawrence. Miami, Buffalo. See, here's where Miami's big problem is. They're not an over team without Tagliabue. With Tagliabue, they'll score, but without Tagliabue, look at them last week. They got 9 points on the Jets. I don't know where the last 2 came from yet, but they got 9 on the Jets, and Tagliabue was out. So where are they going to score? Maybe Bridgewater scores a little. If he plays, he's not. I think Thompson's the starter. So Miami, no offense and a weak defense against Buffalo, who's an 8 team with an 18 defense. And that includes Miami, who scores more. And that includes New England, who scores a little bit more. New England put 23 up on them. And then the Jets, who don't score. I think they got 10 points in those games. Now, the worrisome is is Von Miller played, 10, 11 games, and now Von Miller's out. So the 18, let's call it a 20. Still, you give the edge to Buffalo at home. And here's where I'm really like, in a teaser, I got to lay 7. Now, I know I don't have a good quarterback, but I have a really bad defense. So the bad quarterback on Miami prevents me from going over unless I think Buffalo scores 38 points to get over. And if they do, then I'm sure they're going to win by 7. So this is a very difficult bet because Buffalo's defense just isn't that good. But again, I don't think Miami can take advantage of it with Skylar Thompson. So we like Buffalo. That's the free play. Laying the 7. Try to keep it 7, not 7.5. Not that it'll matter. I mean, they're either going to win by 3 or they're going to win by 20. You assume that playoffs, they win by 20, they're at home. That would be my guess. Giants and Mini. Giants have a 22 defense, Mini at 25. Mini's an over team. So Mini scores 25, gives up 25. The Giants are like 22 and 22. Well, that's exactly what they are, 22 defense versus Mini 25. So it's hard to bet Minnesota here, assuming they're going to win because they're at home because their defense is so weak. But on the other hand, you can't take the Giants because the Giants laid down last week and still should have beat Philadelphia, which would have made Dallas look like real crap because Dallas did not lay down but played such a bad game. It looked like they laid down because I'm saying, well, why would Dallas not play? And they get shut out almost by Washington, and it's 2 fumbles on punts and a pick 6 is how Washington scored. So Dallas doesn't lay down. They just are bad at the punting game and Prescott with the pick 6. So you can't really trust Dallas here. So anyway, you got the Giants 22, which is pretty legit because they play Philly. Although, so they played the real Philly team last week. And Minnesota with the 20. So it's hard to bet a team with a weak defense because they can't stop the other team. So how do you lay – I got to take 3 here. So my spread's 7. They should be laying 1. It's 3. You get 3, not bad. Maybe plus 3.5 in a teaser. If you kick it up to a plus 4, maybe that would be good. Get it over 3 if you want Mini. I can't take the Giants in 9 because I can't trust them because they laid down. And then that leaves me with probably an over because my defense, because Minnesota is a good over team, right? Cousins and Jefferson and Cook will score for you in the 20s, if not a little bit higher. And, but their defense sucks. And then you got the Giants who, Barkley can get you some points. Jones can't throw, but he can run. Their defense is okay. Many should be able to score on it. Being at home, so that should make a difference. So I think it's like 27-24, 27-21, 30-21. It's somewhere in the 50s, so I think you go over 42 is the best bet here. Baltimore, Cincy again, Cincinnati 9.5. I think we found a 9. I think I bet it at 8.5 or 8 the other day because it started at 7.5, and I knew I was playing them if Lamar played or not. It didn't matter to me. Look at the defenses. Baltimore, the 19. They're an under team, especially without Lamar. They don't score, and they have a pretty good defense. Cincy's the best team. They're an 18. They can score a lot, and they have a very good defense. Very not noticeable. Like they have a good defense, but you don't, you're not going to go, who's the best defense in the league? You're going to go San Francisco. You're not going to go Cincy, but Cincy's is very strong too at 20. So it's virtually even defense, much better offense. Cincinnati, especially if Lamar's out and you got Joe Burrow and Chase. I mean, that's really the difference. Try to get it to 3 and under if you can find a 9, or again, maybe you play the 7-point teaser with Mini plus 4 and Cincinnati minus 2. That would be you want to get away from that 3, even though I don't think it'll matter. It's just I'd rather be under 3 than there. So I like Cincy to win. You got Burrow. you're really betting Burrow here. He's Joe Montana. He looks very strong. So that's it. The defenses are even, so it's not like that. And then the last game, Dallas and Tampa, I got Tampa. He doesn't look that good. Oh, the coaching's, yeah, we know all that. But Brady in a playoff game, and you get over a touchdown with Brady in a playoff game, you bet it fundamentally because it's Brady. I mean, really, that's all you do. Is you gotta play him. I mean, look at Dallas last week in a must-win game against Washington. What if the Giants won? They could have won the division, and they're going to be a wild card because they lost to Washington. They had to be playing. Prescott played the whole, except for the last minute or two when Cooper Rush came in. Prescott's playing, Elliott's playing, DCD Lamb's playing, Micah Parsons playing, and they get their ass kicked by Washington because they can't field a punt. The punter can't catch the ball, and a pick six. So is that going to get better? I mean, do you fix that? No. I mean, that's just bad coaching all the way around. This is where the kid who fumbled the punt never returns a punt. It hit him in the head. How are you looking at the ball when it hits you in the head? What are you looking at? You ain't looking at the ball. How is this guy going to get back on my punt? You're going to be the punt returner. No fucking way. How does the punter drop the ball? Then you got to fire the coach. And then the pick six by Prescott, you got to go to Cooper Rush, but you won't because you think Prescott's good. We're watching different quarterbacks is all. So Dallas doesn't show me they're going to blow them out. The defenses are even 20 and 21. So you really have two strong defenses. Tampa in the playoffs, home dogs are always live unless it's like, the 75 Steelers, the Montanas. But even then, they played the Giants in 87, and the Giants were a home dog, and they beat them. The Giants beat them. It's very hard to be a road favorite in the playoffs unless you're the number one seed, which we don't have here. Because normally the best teams are where you have a road favorite. Here you have a weak favorite in Dallas. The other one, San Diego and Jacksonville, the game's probably about even, but I like Herbert over Lawrence, so I'm going to take San Diego in the 4, so I get enough point, over field goal. But here, I don't see why Dallas is favored. I'm not going to question the line. I'm just going to go with it, which is take the dog at home, take Tom Brady in a playoff game all day. So to recap, we like Frisco because they're the best team. San Diego, better quarterback. We got Buffalo at home against Bridgewater, maybe, or Thompson. Minnie and the Giants, both teams suck. I can't play either, so I'm going to go to my over. Cincinnati, Baltimore, probably Lamar doesn't play. He still hasn't practiced. You can't just come off the bench after sitting out for 5 weeks and go play a playoff game and think you're going to do anything. And believe me, if I'm Cincinnati, I'm going after that knee every time. I'd run him out of the bounds and go after his knee. I'm going to play Jack Tatum football. And then Dallas, Tampa, you take the dog. So, again, so Frisco's going up against Seattle with the 24 defense, which means Frisco will have no problem. San Diego, Jacksonville, it's pretty even, the defense, probably 21-22. So it's pretty even of a game. Buffalo, Miami, Buffalo with the 18, Miami with the 24 defense. When I say that, that's points per game. Now, without Von Miller, let's say they're at 20, but Miami's defense is weak, so Buffalo should light it up. Giants, Mini with the 25 defense, and the Giants with the 22. It's pretty even. That's why I'm saying it's probably an over game. Minnesota's, they'll score a lot, and they don't have a great defense. Baltimore, Cincy. Again, both teams with a very strong defense. We're betting Joe Burrow, and then Dallas, Tampa, both teams with the 20 defense. So again, it makes it, there is no edge. So it's take the dog, right? So when you got it like that, you take the dog. But with Cincy, Baltimore, you don't have Lamar and you got Burrow. So it's when do I take the dog and when I not? But I think Cincy at home is different than taking Tampa as a home dog with Tom Brady. So even though the defense, we're just looking where there's the edge. So probably the biggest edge is San Francisco, and then Buffalo, and probably the Giants with Minnie's 25, and then the rest are pretty even. So then we go to the quarter. Then we go to the next step, which is the quarterback. So we take Burrow, we take Brady, we take we take Herbert, and then John. You can't take Daniel Jones, and you can't take Cousins. They both suck. That's why when you go to an over or an under versus the team, I can't find a team to take in the Giants mini. And Giants lay down, mini beat the Bears, but they're a big choke, so you just go with that. So that's the NFL again in teaser trend land. Frisco is 12-3 as a home favorite. Seattle, we know, is 12-2 as a road dog. Very strong road dog. So it's a very trend on both. You can probably tease either way. San Diego, Jacksonville, again, San Diego 14-2 as a road dog, 14-2. If you bet against them as a road dog, Jacksonville doesn't have much as a home dog. So it's really San Diego plays close games. So we're taking, we can get, if this is 3, we wouldn't take it, but at 2 or 1.5, you get 4, 4.5, we're taking San Diego. Get it over 3. Buffalo, Miami. Buffalo 21-4 is a home favorite. Miami's a lousy road team. Not much there. They're better at home. They're not that strong on the road. Giants mini. The Giants 7-1 is a road dog. Mini 10-2 play against home favorite. 16 but they're 11-1 as a home favorite, 10-2 bet against as a home favorite. So Minnesota plays real clear. They're like San Diego, real close games. I think this game will be close. Probably they beat them 27-24. I think that's what you're looking at here. So again, go over, because if you bet Minnesota, you're not, look at that defense. You're going to be stressed out all game. And if you bet the Giants, you got Daniel Jones, which is going to stress you out. And they laid down last week, so that's got to stress you out. Now, if the Giants can win, now, okay, they got the momentum. Now, it's huge this week because the teams that win get the momentum. So if San Diego wins at Jacksonville, they'll have the momentum. If they play, I think Miami plays Cincy, so they'll go to KC. San Diego plays Kansas City very well. So if San Diego gets the win here and they go to KC, they can beat them. Cincy and Buffalo will both have momentum. Frisco, they'll host the Minnesota. 4-5 is Tampa. Minnie's the 3 seed. So Frisco would host the Minnesota Giant winner. So if the Giants can win, then they get to go to Frisco. Good luck there. If Tampa wins, they get Philadelphia, which seems like maybe an easier way, the way Philly's been playing lately. Dallas, I don't know. Well, if Dallas plays Philly, they're very familiar. But it gives you the momentum. This is the only advantage the weaker seeds have when the 1 seed has the bye, is they come in off of a win, and they got the momentum. And the 1 seed, as bad as these 1 seeds are, to me, Frisco and Cincy are the 1 seeds. They're the better teams. So that's the playoff football. Your free picks, take Buffalo. If you want, I got two teasers going, 1 lock going. I might play the third one. I've been waiting on just gut feeling and lines and stuff like that. I don't like the Monday game. I don't understand it, because so Dallas plays Tampa on a Monday night. Well, the next weekend it's going to be Saturday or Sunday. Excuse me, what the fuck are you doing? Because now the Monday game gets screwed. So if Tampa wins, they lose. They got to play on Sunday, maybe Saturday. That's ridiculous. It should not be a Monday game, because your next week's Saturday and Sunday, right? So you go from 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You go from 12 teams to 6. Add the 2 is 8. So you're going to have 2. You're going to have 8 teams as 4 games, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday. Unless they keep having these stupid Monday night games, which makes no sense. You own Sunday, stick to that. So then you're going to have 2 Saturday games, 2 Sunday games, and then you have your championship game. So Dallas, Tampa, assuming it's 2 Saturday and 2 Sunday, is going to get fucked, even if they don't. So you're going to make them play another Monday game? Does that make sense? Yeah, I see this is the problem I have with NFL. They want to make more money, and they think, well, why don't we play it on Thursday, and we'll have a Monday night game, and we'll have a Sunday night game. And you'll have all these games to make more money, but nobody's watching because people like watching football on Sunday. Morning, Nick. Well, there you go. It should be a good one. So I'm on our FYI, I am on our, let's see, 48. I'm on hour 46 at 1 o'clock. It'll be 46 hours of fasting. And I've had my green tea this morning. I had a water and a green tea, and in the green tea, I put cinnamon, ginger, and lemon in my green tea. And that's I had a glass of water earlier, and it was funny. I had a hard time sleeping because I was so hungry. Finally got off, and then I got up early, and then I had some stuff to drink, and then I fell back asleep. I'm going to go fill this with water. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So anyway, but my foot feels a lot better, and that was the point of doing it. My girlfriend's like, well, why are you fasting? And she doesn't understand it. I said, it's there's nothing wrong. It's for health. It's really to clean me out. And the way you describe it is when you break your foot or you break your ankle, you heal yourself, right? How does the body do that? It just goes and heals. It's the way the body works. So it will heal everything else if you let it. The best way to let it is don't freaking eat. And then the body looks for food. That's why you lose fat when you do this. It looks for food. It goes where it's stored in your fat, which is caused from the sugar and the high fructose corn syrup and the carbs. So if you watch that, you don't have the fat, and that's how you get diabetes and insulin resistance. So I'm like, now my body's looking for food because it's freaking hungry. So it goes into the storage bin, into the fridge, and pulling out food and eating it. But it also goes to the damaged area, which is my foot, and it's fixing it. It's going in, looking for food everywhere, and it sees the damage. Why is this foot keep getting sore and keep, getting swollen? So it's down there cleaning it. That is the point of but you can't, it's called of fasting. That's why you got to fast at least 18 hours to get the autography going. But if you're going to do that, then you got to really do like a 48-hour fast, because then you give it 30 hours of working, fine-tuning, your body. And then I'm going to go. Now, I was going to go 5 days. I don't think I'm going to go 5 days. I don't know. My thought is to eat tomorrow. That'll be 72 hours. I bought some food. I got some hamburgers. I'm going to make sloppy Joe. And how long can I keep it in the fridge? I don't want to go 5 days. And I bought one of those rotisserie chickens yesterday or Wednesday. So I'm like, oh, how long am I going to keep that? So I'm kind of like going, all right, we'll go Saturday afternoon during the game. That'll be 72 hours. That gives the photography guys plenty of time to fix my foot. Now I'm basing it on how I feel. Well, the foot feels fine. no swelling at all. Nothing really hurts. So I'm going to give it one more day. But whenever you feel bad, fast, because it's about the body healing you, right? Your body, you break your bones, the body heals it. So it'll heal everything. It'll heal your cancer. It'll heal my liver and my kidneys. I don't have problems, right? So that's why. Now, I got the problem probably by eating pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving and chocolate cream pie for Christmas and a big gallon of ice cream and diet pop. So normally I don't eat that shit, but I'm not working. It's been the holidays and I kind of got off eating that crap, when you're really focused on the diet, you don't even eat it. You just broccoli, cauliflower, red, yellow peppers, onions, cook an omelet, have a steak and salad, and off you go. And you really get focused. But then there's phase two. Okay, I've dropped my weight. My blood pressure's down from 180 to 120. Now I can enjoy a little bit more, but I still do my 18-hour fast. I still, after dinner, don't eat breakfast and go to lunch. Now, what's funny is I see like some of these articles that say, oh, people are missing their breakfast. And I'm thinking, of course, you idiot. You're supposed to not eat your breakfast. Because you eat too much, you get in the way, you fuck up your little guy inside you who's fixing you. So you want him to, pretend there's a pile of food, right? So you want him to dig the pile out and get to the end, and then he can go to work on you. But if you keep eating, the guy never gets to the bottom of the pile. He can't fix you. So that's why you don't eat that much, is you keep it clean. He fixes you. Oh, you had pumpkin pie. Okay, we'll clean it up. Basically, your cells get too much sugar in them, which is why you have insulin resistance, which is why you have diabetes, strokes, and heart attacks from the diabetes. Blood pressure's up, your blood sugar's up, all from the sugar. So, if you eat less, the guy cleans you, right? Gets rid of the sugars, gets rid of the crap, and cleans you. And he cleans your cells. So if there's a problem, there's a bad cell, a cancer cell, which are bad cells, he cleans it. He kills it, gets rid of it. Going, no, you shouldn't be here. Get out of here. And he'll cure you. He'll clean you. So that's really the reason, is to let him go do his job. But if you eat breakfast and you eat lunch and you eat snacks and you eat dinner and you eat after dinner, it's too much. You got too much shit in you. Now, what I've been doing lately, I've been getting confused because since I've been teaching, I'm on here from 11, 12 to 2, 3 o'clock. And that's why I'm even eating the avocado while I'm teaching. It's like I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. So then I eat, and then I'm fucked. I don't know if I eat at 3 o'clock. When do I eat dinner? And I'm not really hungry for dinner. So I've been eating after swim at 7:38, which doesn't really kill me because I didn't really eat that lunch, dinner, and now snack. It's kind of like dinner's the snack at 8 o'clock. It's okay because I didn't eat the dinner. But still, I want to get away from that. So that's another reason I'm on this 72 hours. Get back on schedule, get the sugar out of my system and everything else. Hey, Bobby, where were you? I'm checking in. Who are you talking? Well, I'm doing a 72 hour, I think. I might do a 96 hour, but I wanted to do a 5-day. I'm just too fucking hungry. I'm at 42 hours. I basically Wednesday at 3 had dinner. And that was it. I went swimming. I didn't eat after that. Thursday, didn't eat at all yesterday. And at 3 o'clock, I'll be at 48 hours. So I figure I'll go tomorrow. But the problem is I bought some food that I don't really want to spoil. And I figure 72 hours should be good enough. Again, here's my breakfast. It's green tea, as you can see by the tea bag. This is what I had. This is my second glass of green tea and a glass of water. But it's okay. I mean, if you can eat that, you keep yourself hydrated. I'm not really that hungry, although if I took the chicken out, I'd probably eat the whole fucking thing. Or I could easily eat my 3 or 4 egg omelet with my broccoli and peppers. But right now, I need one more day. My foot feels fine. So I accomplished what I wanted, which was to get away from this foot that keeps swelling up. I keep getting gout, which is from too much acid in the blood. I feel like an alien, right? Too much acid. So the main purpose was to fix the foot, which it's fixed. It feels fine, but I'm going to at least give it one more day. So tomorrow we'll report in. It'll be close to 72 hours. And, 3 o'clock is 72 hours because I ate at 3 after the show Wednesday, but I never ate dinner. And, I've been nibbling on popcorn and the little, what do you call them? The little Indian bread things I've been putting on I put olive oil in the frying pan, heat it up, put the little, it's not bread, but it's pita bread or something. And then I turn it over and I eat it just like that with the olive oil. And it's very healthy. I don't think it's too much carbs, but in my mind, a little carbs there, so I'm trying to stay away. And then the desserts I've been eating. So I wanted to clean it all up and reset. So I'd say every 2 or 3 months, you should probably do it. But as long as you keep to the 18 hours, you're fine. Anyway, so I just wanted to, I think what I see, when I analyze everything, right? So I'm looking in Yahoo yesterday or Google, whatever the fuck. No, on Yahoo. And they're talking about a doctor saying, oh, you should eat breakfast. People are skipping breakfast. I'm like, of course, you shouldn't be eating breakfast. Unless you're eating breakfast at noon. You don't eat breakfast at 6, 7 o'clock. You might have a cup of coffee, but you don't want to eat. You don't want to eat a muffin. Maybe an omelet would be fine. But you don't want a muffin or a bagel at all because of the carbs. But as I'm explaining, this is phase 2. So I've got my blood pressure down to 120. I've lost my weight. I'm in my 36s again. So therefore, it's okay to have one bagel on a Sunday, right? You treat yourself. Or a piece of pie. Like I should have got a piece of pumpkin pie, not the whole fucking pie. So you just get one piece of cake or one, then that's okay. You can eat that. Then you're gonna fast it away. So when you fast, you eat at 6, 7 o'clock, then you don't eat till noon. That kind of cleans up the one piece of pie or the bagel you had. You just can't eat it all the time. That's why you can't buy Oreo cookies. You'll eat the whole fucking thing. All the sugar in that's worse than your hangover, Bobby. It's worse than the whiskey. Eating a whole fucking thing of Oreos or Chips Ahoy or Fritos or Doritos or Lay's where you eat the whole fucking bag because they chemically induce you to do it because there's something in there that forces you to keep going. Good discipline. Thank you. By the way, my 10 Silver Eagles got here yesterday. What did you got Silver Eagles. So you got US. What did you pay for them? 35 or, and what's your shipping? And does it come FedEx second day like my guy? Yeah, or Eros are hard to have one and stop. That's why I barely eat them because I fucking love those things. Oreo, yeah. So it came second day, and you paid, what's the prime on it? 35 for the Silver Eagles? Is that what you paid spot, or did it go up to 40? That does it, as long as you got it. Now I'm going to show you this. You'll be very excited by this, Bobby. So as the shit's hitting the fan and all the countries are getting nervous because all their money's collapsing to the huge debt, I look at what's happening. It came in 2 days after I ordered. All right, so look at the gold price today. It keeps going up, even though it's COMEX, it's 1913. But the better news is when we look here, for the last 30 days, it's now up $121, and that's on COMEX. That's not the real physical price. That's the COMEX price. So here we go, Bobby and Nick and everybody else. Here it's starting it's 121 the last 30 days. So if I went to buy gold now, it's 19. I'm going to pay over $2,000 for my ounce of gold, even if it's a Cougar ad. The Eagle's probably almost 2,100. So keep that in mind, that here we go. What it's really saying, yes, silver. Don't worry about silver. Silver is going to go through the roof more. Silver is 24.22. So we know it hasn't done much, but look at the 10 crop. Every day it's the same thing. Look at that down line at 10. And then it goes, well, this happened at like 9:30. It's Britain cleaning their money, so they reconfigure the price at 10 o'clock. For some reason, my Eagles don't look as shiny as my Buffaloes. Is that usually the case? No. I mean, what year is it? I got some really shiny Eagles, and I got some really shiny Buffaloes. What year are they, Bobby? Well, it's up like 20 cents. They are 2023. So you think they'd be really shiny because they're brand new, because we're just started 2023. Did you pay more for 20? I heard 2023s are more than 2022s. I hope you didn't pay more for it because you don't want to. You want the ounce of silver. I just as soon get 2020. I don't really care. I don't want to pay more for silver because at the end of the day, it's the ounce. They look clean, but I thought they would be super shiny. Well, that's the problem when you buy them online. You pay 38. Now with the 2022s, 35, and where and then the Buffaloes would probably be 28. Well, they didn't have 2022 Eagles, is what you're saying? That's okay. So anyway, all you care about is you got an ounce of silver, or you got 10 ounces. Now, did they come in that white plastic case I showed you? Or where are you putting them? So you got to order the white plastic case for all your silver, and you pop 20 in a case. Canadians, if you buy them, you get 25. All right, so you paid $2 more, so that's your first mistake. No reason to. You should have got now, unless they were out of them, which I don't know. Okay, you got the tubes. So you put them in the tubes, you screw the tube, and then now you can hide them away somewhere. Yeah, I got you, tubes. So good for you. As you can see, the gold is starting to run in COMEX. COMEX will blow up soon because there won't be derivative. Nobody's shorting it because they all realize that Russia, China are coming out with the dollar backed by gold. So that'll be the news. So in 2008, Madoff goes down because of the housing crisis, killing everybody. So they needed money, and they all went to Madoff, said, "Give me my money out of your Ponzi scheme." And he couldn't because he didn't have enough money. But that was the Black Swan event. Well, here it'll be coming out with dollar backed by gold. It'll be, we're not on the petrodollar anymore. They're taking it. I just saw Saudi Arabia will take money for oil. They'll take gold for oil. They'll take yuan for oil. So now it's not just the U.S. dollar, which does anybody really want it? You sanction Russia. Are you going to sanction us? So everybody's fleeing from the dollar. So now it's the ugly girl at the dance. It's not the pretty girl at the dance anymore like it was 50 years ago. Now she's fat and ugly and nobody wants her. So now the U.S. is probably busy printing a new fat and ugly girl unless they come out and back it by gold. But the problem is they don't have any gold. Now, JP Morgan owns 300 ounces, which I'm sure he'll love to sell to the government at $50,000 an ounce. Bobby, I got another one for my kangaroos and maples too, so they're no longer loose in that place. Yeah, well, that's fine. And as you notice, there's a little difference in size. There's two different sizes of holders. There's one for the Eagles, and one for the buffaloes. They're different. It's very hard to put the eagles in the buffalo container, but you can put the buffaloes in the eagle container. So the eagles are a little bit bigger. So that's good. Now the goal is to get a few more, fill a few more containers, Bobby. You don't realize that you're fighting the clock, but you are. That's what I'm trying to convey to you, is you're fighting the clock, that you just paid 38 for them. Soon it'll be 380, then it's going to be 3,000 for them. So you are playing beat the clock a little bit. So whatever you can do. That's why I haven't really gone. I'm not working, but I've got so much. Not that I don't want more, and I'm sure I'll just run and buy more silver. I mean, what's the difference? I'd love a few more ounces of gold, but just because I got to give the girls some gold. Bobby, it's getting into the late innings to buy. Well, you were able to buy it, and you were able to buy it at a decent price. You can see gold going up, so they're still manipulating silver, but that's not going to last. Silver's broken also. I think why silver hasn't done the move gold's done is because silver is still needed for electric car batteries and solar panel, and just there's phones and computers. There's a lot of use for silver, so they're still probably keeping it down for the uses. Where gold, there's no use for gold. It's just gold. It's the gold standard. It's the best there is. It's the Tom Brady of money. So basically with gold, you're not using it for computers and stuff like that. So it's starting to go. Now, this is what I'm telling you. If you notice, what does silver do? They go up 50 cents, 75 cents, where gold goes up $15. Gold's up $120 in a month. Silver is up, $4. That's the difference, right? So gold really jumps, but it costs more, and silver is going to jump because it's at the end. COMEX is blowing up. So I was watching this video yesterday, and they said silver will go to the moon when the COMEX blows up. Well, the COMEX is blown up because there's a huge difference in spot and actual, right? The spot for silver is 24. Bobby just paid 38. Well, that's blown up because it's not, you can't buy it for 24, so the number's not good. And eventually they're gonna get out of that derivative thing because they don't want it, and that's what'll happen. So let's talk a little economics. So I was watching this YouTube on girls getting trafficked out of the Ukraine, and the human trafficking, sending them to Turkey and everything. And I thought about it as an economist. I don't agree with it. I think it's terrible. But what happens? There's two sides to it. Instead of the girl just getting a passport and going to Turkey and applying for a job as a secretary or a maid and meeting the people and understanding that's her job, I don't have to worry about being prostituted or being locked up in an apartment where they lock you and steal your passport. You would take risk off of it if you just went there and looked for a job. But they can't. And their excuse is, well, I need money, for the family. I can't earn money here. So to earn money, I got to go prostitute and make money and send it back to the family. But they're going about it the wrong way. Go there and do it. But can they get a passport? I think they can. Jenna's got a passport. So if you can get the passport, then just travel there. Now, maybe you don't have money for the flight, I don't know, or the train or the boat. This could be a problem, but you shouldn't have to rely on this guy. What happened was this guy, this is a real sad story. This guy is married, and his buddy says, "Oh, I'm going to Turkey. I can help your wife by talking and showing her what everything is and everything." And so the guy agrees, but the guy who was the husband's friend was a trafficker. He sells the wife for $1,000, and you're like, oh my God. So how did you trust this guy? that goes back to our whole discussion about Madoff or Mad Dog, whatever you want to call him, of trust. How does everybody trust Madoff and doesn't ask the question, how the fuck are you making me this return? It makes no sense. You can't do it. And then they lose their money and they're crying. And it's the same thing here. How does this guy trust his wife to go to Turkey with this guy? And he sells the wife for the $1,000. How does he not know this guy well enough to trust him? And it all comes back to what I was talking about yesterday. So you can see how it's in every area of life, this trust. Oh, he's really a trafficker. Oh, I didn't know that. And then there's the woman who gets all the girls and then takes them on a boat and goes to Turkey they went to Turkey and there's like 15 girls. They don't know they think they're going to clean houses. And then they steal their passports and then they take them to an apartment and they lock them in. And then it's, we know what happens. And so again, it's you can't trust the woman who they trusted would not do this. She's selling them. So what the fuck's wrong with the woman selling girls? Like, that's okay? You need money, really? And this is the way you came up with how you are going to get money is by this. So that makes no sense. And then you get to other areas. So the girl should go there and get a job, not trust that. And then she's surprised because I thought I was going to clean houses. So that's on the girl to understand I can't trust these people. And then you get on to the girl, then the husband went and finally was able to recoup the girl by pretending he was a trafficker and wanted to buy the girl from them. And anyway, he got his wife back. But it's crazy that these girls are so desperate for money, they'll prostitute, but then they don't understand what it is. But this is how bad the countries are because of the inflation, and there's no jobs in Ukraine, Moldova, Romania is a little bit better. Russia, we know, is terrible. Most of the girls that get trafficked are from Russia and the Ukraine and Moldova, which is a Russian country. And they all go under, they think they're going to clean houses. So on the one hand, you give the girls credit. They want to work. They want to make money. They're just too naive to know who do I trust. And they need to listen to the professor. So you do test on who I can trust. And that's really what you're trying to do here is understand who to trust. So can I trust Madoff? Can I trust somebody selling me something? Can I trust my friends? And that's really that's where I'm going with this. But it's another case of now, why does the economics work? Well, in girls, why do the traffickers want the girls? Because they are a source of money. Guys want them. There's demand in the market from guys wanting these girls, and they will pay for the girls. So as long as the traffickers can make money by having guys pay for the girls, they'll do it because there's money involved. They can make money. Now, why don't they just get a normal job? Because it's fucking Turkey or it's Spain, it's Italy, it's Germany. Supposedly Germany's just filled with it. Well, we know Amsterdam, but there it's kind of legal. So I don't know if the girls, it's funny when I meet one of those girls, are you okay? Are you in trouble? Do you need help? Because I always think of, are they really there on their own, or are they really there because they stole their passport and they owe and they're working it off? Like, but if everything seems normal to make money, that's why I do it. Then I'm helping her. But see what happens. But that's the thing. So we get back to economics. We get back to Say's law. Supply creates demand. So demand says, yeah, I like a hot young girl, a Russian girl. They're very pretty. I'll pay for it. And then so they provide the inventory. And that, if we go back to economics, is what's happening. How do I get inventory? I don't think you need to lock them up. This goes back to slavery in the cotton days of the South. What did I say? Yes, they had slaves, but they treated them well because they needed them to pick the cotton. So it's not like they whipped them and didn't feed them. And, they had to feed them so they would be healthy to work and pick the cotton. They housed them, they fed them. So I'm not saying it's great, but I'm saying I'm sure they had to make sure the slaves were okay. So they're fed, housed, and clothed, and they're picking cotton all day. So I'm not for slavery, but I'm explaining what happened. So if they would do the girls differently, if they'd say, hey, look, we're gonna bring you to Turkey, we're gonna prostitute you, and we'll split it with you. This is how a business person would do it. You get these girls and you say, I'll tell you what, we'll go 50-50. We'll put you up in an apartment and this is what you're going to do. So they know it going in. And then you're free to come and go. But since you need the money because you live in Moldova, Ukraine, Russia, you'll get 50%. We're not going to steal your pay. You're free to leave if you want, if that's what you want. And you go from there. That's what you think a business person would do, is explain it to them up front. This is what's happening. And then the girl says, oh, okay, yeah. Because one of the girls said she's going back to Turkey to prostitute because she needs money because her family's starving. So she says, I got to go back. I need to make money. But her problem is she needs to go and do it independently or go be a maid or go work in a restaurant. I'm sure if she just went there and then went to a restaurant, she could make money that way. So they don't have to. But if you presented it to them of what reality is, then it's a trust issue, right? Oh, he's upfront with me. I'm going to prostitute. He's going to give me, let's say he gives me 40%. He pays for the rent, so he gets 60%. And then he gets the clients and off we go. Now, I'm not sure if that's how Amsterdam is. I think it's more like that. The girls know they're going to pay for the room. They know they're going to prostitute, but they got a window and they're free to come and go. I think some of them, I don't know if all of them are, or some of them are bought, but they go. The problem is the guys who use them and take their money. Those are the guys that are not playing right and should be, they should go to jail for doing that. But if you keep it above board as a business, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to make. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to take your passport. You're free to come and go. If this is what you want, like Amsterdam, then it'd probably work a lot better than selling them, putting them at gunpoint, taking their passport, putting them in a room with bars and making them prisoners. Well, who wants to be a prisoner? So, they got to learn business. I'm sad for the girls that they live in these countries where there's just no jobs and no money and they're all poor. That's bad. And that they need to, again, it's the government's communist Keynesian system that's fucking everything up. So here you can see Keynesian at work. Russia, the Ukraine, Moldova, Romania, where there are high taxes, inflation, bad laws, bad money, and then they're broke. And then how do you survive? Well, most of them are pretty good because they can't really afford cars, so they're walking a lot or biking a lot. They're in good shape and they're pretty, so that's what they can sell. They have a commodity that they can sell and people are interested in buying it. So there's a market for them, but they got to do it as a business smartly. Unfortunately, now why isn't there a market for them to go work at a hotel or go work at a restaurant? I had a friend who lived there in the Ukraine, and she's looking for, she says, I went to a restaurant to be a waitress. And I get there and they look at me and they wanted me to do a strip show. This is the mentality of the men in the Ukraine, right? They wanted me to do a strip show. So I got up and left. And I said, good for you. And I was happy for her. I was happy she was trying to get a waitress job, but are you fucking kidding me? Because then they just want to screw them and, abuse them, not just as a regular waitress. So that's really the shame of it. But again, it comes back to economics. The girl needs money to buy goods and services. She has something that's demanded, her looks, and then there's guys who will pay. There's a demand for the supply of the girl. This is the whole problem with it. Now, how do you regulate it? And I feel terrible for the girls who are being locked away. That's not all these guys should go to jail. And I don't know why it'd be so hard to do it. All you need is undercover agents who sit there and go, okay, I want to buy the girls, and then meet with the guy and then arrest them and throw them in jail. And once the word gets out, are you really going to keep doing that? Or are you going to say, shit, Interpol's here, Turkish police or whatever. Now, the other problem, much like Russia and the Ukraine, are the police are corrupt. So in Russia, what happens, the mafia pays off the police because the police don't make any money. Let's say they make $200 a month. Well, the mafia says, here's $1,000 a month. Well, you're not going to arrest the mafia guy. That's what you have in Turkey and some of these countries. The bad guys who get the money didn't pay off the police. So a girl I heard that yesterday. A girl ran to the police. He drives them back. Like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? All he had to do was say, I don't know what you're talking about, and let the girl go free. So I really question that because the guy's not going to know she ran to the police and he had it. So again, you're running into bad laws, corrupt police. That's communism. This is why I teach Austrian economics, because this would never happen in Austrian economics. You shouldn't have your payoffs. If we're on the gold standard, you never have inflation. The economy booms. People can get normal jobs that they want. Now, if they want to be prostitutes, they can, but they can do it as a business much easier than they can being, gun pointed and stuck in a hotel room. Not saying that girls should do that, but it would give them an option. And this is the problem, but it all comes back to supply and demand. If there's no demand for the girls, then nobody does anything. And that's really, but how do you start there? It's just a men thing. They see a girl, they don't put two and two together that they're prisoners. Even though if they see the bars on the walls, they should go, okay, let me try to help you. Let's meet here. We'll meet at McDonald's and I'll help. I mean, that's what the people should be doing, is helping the girls out and kind of having that in there. But the guys are they're probably pretty poor, and they probably don't see women like that. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses, but that's what I would do if I ever do that, is make sure that the girl's okay. And, if I could save a girl, I would. Anyway, so that's what happens in Europe a lot. Dubai, there's a lot of Russian girls transported there. And what gets me is the girls are kind of go be a maid and clean a house or, work in a restaurant and I'll make $200 a month. Like, have you checked the guy out? Do you know other girls that have done this and actually went and been a maid? Like, you got to check that out, that this guy's legitimate. And, if you can't, you can't. It's too much risk. And that's the problem. The girls are desperate, need the money, and they just do that. But they really, what are they doing, right? So it becomes naive, which gets you back to Madoff, which gets you back to the reverse Madoff, which is gold. Well, gold's low, so therefore I won't buy it. Or silver, I'm not going to buy it. It doesn't go anywhere. Without understanding it's manipulated, you would think gold doesn't have the value. But we all know gold has value since the fucking Romans. So why would gold not have value? And then you have to understand the money. So you have to understand all the facts to then, I'm going to buy gold and silver. Just as the girl has to understand all the facts of, well, wait, are you selling me? I need more information. Let me see the job. Let me speak to the people who I'm gonna be the maid for. Or why don't I just go there and try to find a job that looks like a normal job, and you meet the people and you go to the house and talk to the kids or whatever. You get to know them before you do business with them. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's the trust factor. Now, with the Madoff problem was people trusted him because the SEC kept my wheels are really spinning on this Madoff thing. And I'm uncovering a lot of pieces to the puzzle that they're not even looking at. So what do they say, right? Here's Madoff. He's got these 4 rich investors who, when he needs money, because it's a Ponzi scheme, which means somebody gives me 100, then I don't invest it. I just put it in the pool. Then I get another 100 in, and I give the first guy $20. And then another guy comes and needs somebody new to come in and give me money to pay off the first guys. That's a Ponzi scheme. First in makes out, last in gets fucked. So in the Ponzi scheme, let's look at the whole picture. So first you got the SEC going in and investigating and not finding anything. They trust Madoff because he actually had a legal stock thing, and then he had the illegal Ponzi scheme. And so he was head of the NASDAQ. He was chairman of the board of NASDAQ twice or something. So he is trusted because he's reputable. And therefore, because he's reputable, people trust him, are giving him his money. They say it was a lot of older people from Florida. Here's 50 grand. Here's my retire. I'm going to retire. So their friends would then give him 50 grand. And then he started getting the big hitters in Europe. And that's what happened. So he starts getting more and more money in, and he needs to be the guy. He needs to be the man. So he's all loving the power. But because the SEC didn't find anything wrong with him, people trusted that the SEC was honest, which is where I'm going. And then since the SEC cleared him, then, I trust him because the SEC would have found something wrong. You know how many times the SEC investigated him? Like 3 or 4 times and didn't find anything. Why would that be? So let's come to a logic. SEC investigate a guy doing a Ponzi scheme 4 times, and 4 times they come up empty. How much did the SEC get from the 4 rich guys that are actually the ones doing the Ponzi scheme? Oh, government corrupt? Well, government's never corrupt. Bush allowed 9/11 to happen. He called down the bombers. That's not corrupt. You never went confirmed the other day. 9/11 was a gold robbery. The guy who owns the building takes out terrorist insurance a week before, and the whole 105 floor, it happens to be on a holiday that day when that's what they crashed into and blew up the building. So the guy, knowing they're blowing up the building, all his workers are on holiday on a Tuesday. Government corrupt? How could that be? Oh, they're inflating the dollar. Government corrupt. They're raising interest rates. Government corrupt. Everything the fucking government does is corrupt. Right? So how would you trust government that it's not corrupt? So in this case, there's 4 big investors that help Madoff. When he needs money, when people want to pull money out and he doesn't have it, the scam's up. But if one of the rich guys gives him money, and there's 4 guys, give him the money, the scam's still working because he can pay off. He had to pay I think it was $400 million. And what happens? The rich guys gave him the money, and he was able to write checks to the people, making it look like nothing happened. Who is really behind this? It ain't Madoff. Madoff was the character. The real guys are the 4 money guys. Those are the crooks, not Madoff. So they gave him money when he needed it. You don't, Bill, I need, Bobby, I need $10 million because I got to do my Ponzi scheme and pay off these guys. And Bobby doesn't question it. What does Bobby do? He gives me the money. Well, Bobby's in on it because why would anybody give somebody money unless they know why, right? Are you gonna give it back to me? Yeah, Bobby, it's part of the Ponzi scheme. So you give me the money, I pay off the guys, and we're gonna get new people in, and you'll get your money back. And that's what the guy did. The guy ended up taking out $8 billion. He made more than Madoff, this co-walker, or whatever his name is. Picower. So it was clearly he was the one doing the Ponzi scheme. And then the other guys, they're all probably mafia. And the guy who gave him all the money, as soon as Madoff goes to jail, he gets killed, drowned in his pool. They call it heart attack. Yeah, Clemenza was a heart attack too, right? So now we really know what happened. It wasn't Madoff at all. He was the front man. He was the con man. Like the Sting, he was Robert Redford. The Picower and the other guys were the Paul Newmans. They were the money guys, and they probably designed the whole thing. They sent him the client here, send money, so he takes the money. But anytime anybody asks, how are you doing it? And these guys are going to the SEC complaining, and the SEC does 3 or 4 audits. Conveniently, the SEC doesn't find anything. How the fuck could that possibly happen? Are you serious? The SEC goes 3 or 4 times and can't find anything wrong because they don't even look. Well, we see all these 30 things that are saying that it's no-brainer. You're clearly scamming, but we'll ignore all those. Excuse me? The only way that's possible is the SEC was also in on it. And the other player was JP Morgan, because his bank account, 703 or whatever, had $3 billion in it, means JP Morgan has to look at it, which they didn't. Well, knowing how corrupt JP Morgan is, I'm sure they knew it too. So you got JP Morgan knowing of this, but Madoff takes the heat. JP Morgan, I think they had to pay a penalty, another famous JP Morgan penalty. JP Morgan is the most corrupt bank in the world. Then you got the SEC. Of course, the government's corrupt. They were getting paid off. And the Picower and the other guys were the ones keeping the money. And then I'm sure they got the money. So what probably happened is Madoff, does his little dog and pony show. These guys are giving him money. And when he gets enough, but how does the guy Picower make more money on the scam than Madoff? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. And we're all idiots, right? God, it's these people will sell you a can of worm. It's such bullshit. This whole Madoff on Netflix. I mean, there's so much corruption going on. It's unbelievable, but only people like me who can, and this is why I pick football so well, right? I can analyze the show and realize the 4 guys were the Ponzi. The SEC was in on it. JP Morgan was in on it. They were paid off because everybody says, how could the SEC miss it? Well, when you're getting paid $1 million, you don't see it, right? Obviously, that's what happened, right? That's obvious. So the SEC's on it. Did they go to jail? No. Why not? Because it's corrupt. So this is the problem with payoffs. So Madoff was just the puppet. The 4 guys were the real Ponzi's. They made billions of dollars. This lady from Europe made billions of dollars in on it. They needed Europe. They went to Europe, and she was like this big banker in Austria. Then you've got the SEC and JP Morgan. So you got all these people. They're the ones running the scam. Don't tell me JP Morgan didn't know what it was. It was probably his fucking idea. And then he gets these 4 guys who probably had accounts at JP Morgan, I would imagine. This lady in Austria probably connected with JP Morgan. And JP Morgan probably paid off the SEC, because now if they check him out and everything looks good, that's fine. You know what? It looks good. Therefore, he's honest, he's clean, I'll trust him, and I'll give him my money. There was a guy from Europe who was the banker for all these royalty, all the kings and queens and jacks and tens of the countries in Europe, all these rich guys in Europe. They trusted him, put all their money in it. He ended up killing himself once he knew it was a scam. And again, Madoff fooled him. Like he said, I did my due diligence. And I'm like, no, you didn't. If you did, you would have asked him how he does it. You would have realized nobody can pick 100% and nobody can give you the return. There's got to be the guy in Boston immediately saw this upward tick, which is impossible. It's got to go up and down, up and down. Like me, I have a good week, I have a bad week, I have a good week, I have a bad week. I might have a couple of good weeks. But the fundamentals of how I do it is you've heard it 1,000 times. I just went through it. We're taking Frisco because they're better team, better defense, da, 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 da. I give you the explanation. I give you the pick. It's not like I come back on Monday and say, oh, I had Seattle in 15. Look at me. Look, I went 100%. Now, if Nick's still watching, he knows I did this a few years ago. I hit every game in the playoffs. Now, I got lucky, but it just set up right? But I picked them. He had the picks before, and they all won. So he can't go, I'm lying. So he saw the picks, they all won. But that was unusual where I absolutely nailed the playoffs. But I'll go 80% in the playoffs because there's 6 games I can really focus and you're not dealing with Houston and you're not dealing with some, the Lions and the Bears, these shitty teams. So really, that's what happened. That's the scam, and that's why. So if the SEC's paid off, it's like the girls in Europe. The police are paid off. Why didn't the police help them? Don't the police know they're being held? Yes, but they don't. They're paid off. It again comes down to money and corruption. You're corrupt because you want money. And if you're on the gold standard, does that go away? Maybe. I don't know. I think you still have the corruption, but you probably have far less of it. But because you don't have the inflation, so the inflation kills the value of the dollar. So the cops are like, well, I don't make, I make $200 a month, but $200 a month's nothing. So if the mafia is going to give me $1,000 a month, well, that's great. So that's what I take out of Madoff is the 4 guys, JP Morgan, the woman in Austria, and the SEC are all in on it, and they're running it. And Madoff's just a figurehead because he's a salesman. He knows how to kind of get the people, but he could not do it alone because he needed money, right? When the timing's wrong and people want $200 million and he only has $80 million, it's all over. Well, how did it continually, Picard and these other guys, give him money to keep it afloat unless they knew what it was? So he even admits, well, I think Picard knew what was going on. Of course, Picard knew what was going on. They all knew what was going on. JP Morgan knew what was going on. And the SEC knew what was going on. I know the government's slow, and I know they're criminal most of the time, and they're stupid. But in this case, it's so obvious that they were in on the take and paid off, just like a referee calling a holding penalty in the NFL. This is the problem with all the corruption and all the and the whole thing. It's not hard to pay off Earl Morrall in the first Super Bowl. It's not hard to pay the refs off in the Seattle Pitt Super Bowl. It's not hard to pay off the refs in the New Orleans, Minnesota game when there was clear interference that wasn't called. It wasn't hard to call a phantom holding penalty or phantom pass interference. The refs are bad. They're getting worse. They don't pay them enough, so they're in on the take. Look at the NBA ref. There's a couple of NBA refs that fix it. You got movies where kids are fixing games. So the fact you've allowed DraftKings and BetMGM to monitor football and sports is the dumbest thing you can do because they're all in bed. Now, you can deny it, but we're not stupid. We can see what's going on. We can see bad. There's a game fixed here. I bet Buffalo doesn't win by 13. Cincinnati and they might win by 10, 14. Minnie and Dallas will lose, but it's such a low number. So it's really the Buffalo game, which I'm worried about that they won't win by 13 because it's fixed. But this is what happens, and this is what I'm trying to point out. It's happening all over the place with women, with this Madoff thing. All of banking is a scam and a Ponzi scheme. Understand that, because the banks create the money. So if I give the banks 10 grand, they now have zero reserve. They take my 10 grand and make 100 grand with it. What the fuck is that? What do you mean you just printed money out of the blue? That's a Ponzi scheme. That's a better than a Ponzi scheme, because they don't owe anybody, right? They get the money, but they don't have to. Nobody's asking for it. So talk about a Ponzi scheme. Just look at the banking system, the central banks, all over Europe, and it's all over the world. Japan, China. Look at Russia. Talk about a Ponzi scheme. Fucking Russia's the worst. So the whole world's basically a Ponzi scheme, and they come out. That's what I told Bobby yesterday. They come out with this little fictitious thing. The stock market's up because the consumer price index, which we fix, and we don't count food and energy and rent, is went down 0.1% from what, 7.9 to 7.8. So everybody ran out and bought stocks. What? That doesn't make any sense. That's all bullshit, but that's what they do. Hey, Nick, was reading an article that NFL and NBA are considered entertainment leagues. Leads you to believe that they have an easier time fixing games since it's considered entertainment. What were they before? Sports leagues? Or look at Vince McMahon, right? We remember the WWF. And what did he do? He called it World Wrestling Entertainment. So it became entertainment as opposed, because it wasn't a sport. So there's a difference between sport and entertainment, but it was a tax issue. That's why Vince McMahon did it, because he could call entertainment and do certain things with it. So it was purely for tax issues. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, does entertainment versus sport matter? And that's the whole difference. But again, back to this whole Madoff and economics and the girls in Europe, it all comes back to demand. It all comes back, not that people are greedy, and there's nothing wrong with being greedy. So if I make money on a game, I'm not supposed to bet the next game, because I'll be greedy if I double up, or if I'm playing blackjack and I play $5 and I win and I make it 10, and that's my system. Is that greed? Greed is good, because it gets you thinking to do a better way, a better thing. Excuse me. So to call people greedy because they were Madoff, what do you do with people in a mutual fund? What do you do with people that own Microsoft stock for 10 years? Are they greedy? And what's wrong with them being greedy? You got to make money somehow. You're now retired. You got some money. You got 50 grand. You're going to put it in a stock for a dividend. And that's the problem. That's what people do. They retire and they get a dividend. They put some of their money in a Coca-Cola to get 4%, some of the money in Microsoft or Google to make a little bit of money. That's the retirement game. And I'm saying, look out, because Warren Buffett with the $2 billion, like, you think he has control over when they crush the market and when they crush the dollar? He doesn't have any control over that. He might think he does. He might try to buy it, but at the end of the day, he has no control over the Fed printing the money and it losing its value, and what the U.S. is doing to Russia and the BRICS countries by trying to, what's the word? Trying to, control them and not letting them buy stuff. There's a word, but so that's what you have, and you've got to understand that. So Buffett can't control it. Bill Gates, I saw Bill Gates just bought $21 billion in stock. Say goodbye to that, Bill. See, again, Buffett should be in gold and Gates should be in gold, but they're not smart enough to be in gold. Gates has no clue what he's doing, so he goes to his Keynesian financial planner, says, buy these stocks. So he bought Microsoft, he bought Canadian National Railroad, and a couple of others. They're all going to go down to zero because earnings will drop, people will need money, the end of the game. So he's going to lose all his money thinking he's in the stock market, he's safe, versus being in gold and silver where you're really safe. And understanding what's happening in gold and silver, that COMEX is broken, here go the prices very soon. Even if I don't, I want to be in gold and silver just as protection, because I know the dollar is being inflated. So if I understand what the fuck inflation is, I would be out of the dollar. As soon as I heard this a year and a half ago, right, Nick? As soon as I heard that, what did I tell you? Buy gold, buy silver, get out of the stock market. As soon as I heard the inflation word. So it's basically as soon as Biden took over, all of a sudden the Chinese took over the US and they want to ruin the dollar. And that's exactly what's happening. I'm smart enough to understand that. So I get out. So that action causes my reaction, which is get out of the market, get out of the dollar, don't leave money in the bank, buy gold and silver. And that's what I've been doing for the last year and a half since I've understood what's happening. But I understand it. And that's really the key to life is whatever you do, try to understand it. Don't do things blindly. Don't buy Bitcoin because, don't buy Microsoft because, don't buy Tesla because. Now I did something yesterday also. I was doing a lot of research for our class. So I'm looking at the gold and silver. Then I was looking at U.S. electric vehicle sales by year. How many electric cars? See, okay, I finally, U.S. electric vehicle sales by maker and EV through Q3 2022. U.S. quarterly through September. Here's an article on Bloomberg. Electric vehicles look poised for slower sales growth this year. U.S. auto sales, GM is number one car maker in 2022. I don't know what that means. U.S. electric vehicle sales for 2022. How many electric cars sold in 2022? A total of 79,000 plug-in vehicles were sold during November. Okay, I don't want November. Then it says cumulatively 800,000 have been sold in 22. Now the market for cars is 16 million. They've sold 800,000 last year, possibly. When I looked at it, by year, nationwide, there were 322,000 EVs were sold in 20, 310 were sold in 21. So I highly doubt this number of 800,000 in 22 in the middle of a recession. So I highly doubt that. But you're dealing with a number of 300,000 and you're buying Tesla stock. And now let's assume it went up to 800,000, but not in an inflation recession. You'll be lucky to sell. You'll be back at 300,000. So why is everybody all over Tesla? It's a bad investment because the electric car sales aren't going anywhere. Hey, Nick. Laugh out loud. They want you to go electric so they can shut it off whenever they want. Well, there's a couple of reasons. They want to get out of oil. So right now they got to keep oil. So they want to fuck Saudi Arabia and Russia by saying we don't need oil, which they still do. They want to, it's never for the green energy. That's never, that's not even real. I don't know about locking you down. That's terrible if that's what they're thinking. But how much do you think electricity is going to go up when you need to charge your car? I was reading where that was the biggest complaint is how do I charge my car? And they said, well, normally you charge it at night when you're sleeping or, at work or whatever. How do I charge? I live in an apartment. How could I'm going to pull my car into my living room to charge it? Like, really? There's no charger here. Not only that, how expensive is it going to be to charge it? Probably be $100. they're trying to use that like it was cheaper than oil. Well, gas went down. Gas is like $3.10 a gallon now. It's not. It's a $30 fill up. I'm sure the electricity will go way up. Plus, finding the electrical. Where are you going to find them? Yeah, in a big city. But if I drive up north to Lake Michigan, or I drive to Vegas, or Ohio, or wherever, how am I going to find? I couldn't find gas stations when I drove to Alabama. So I went through Ohio into Kentucky. Once you get past Louisville, I couldn't find a gas station, and Tennessee was no better. So I mean, there's an hour of Kentucky where there is no gas station, and I think you go through Bowling Green and then you go down, and then there's nothing. Then you hit Tennessee. But with that being said, I can't even find a gas station. How am I going to fill up my car with the charge? So I'm going to constantly be, there's a gas station. Maybe they have electric. I'll go fill it up because I don't know how long I have. And I hope I don't catch on fire. And I hope my battery doesn't die. These batteries are tricky and they catch on fire a lot, as we've talked about here. So that's all your electric vehicles, 300, maybe 8, which I doubt. But let's just say that is. Again, you have a 16 car market. So 15 million are still being sold as gas powered. I don't want, there's no reason to get rid of my gas powered car. And gas can only go up so much. Now I do notice the diesel is $5.50 a gallon, which makes the things they ship go up. That's why your food's going up, is because when they deliver in the truck that takes diesel fuel, what was $3 is now $5. So they have to mark up. The trip now costs more because the gases went up. So therefore, as gas went up, the trip's going to cost more. So they got to raise the prices, which makes the food people raise their prices a little to cover the gas, the diesel fuel that the truck needs to ship it in. So that's really part of what's going on. That's what Larry Fink, probably also in on the Ponzi scheme, says about how he's going to cause inflation. He'll make diesel fuel more expensive, which will make prices more expensive. And this idiot thinks that's inflation. Again, now that you know what inflation is and you hear these idiots talk about prices being more expensive is inflation, you immediately go, these guys don't know a fucking thing. They don't know what they're talking about. I know what inflation is. It's the devaluation of the money. It's the inflation. They print too much of it, period. Once you know that and you hear, well, the inflation is prices going up, you automatically know they don't know what they're talking about. And if they talk about derivative gold instead of physical, you also know they don't know what they're talking about. They want to talk derivatives. That's not real gold. That's physical. They made a point yesterday. The guy says there's only, let's say there's 3 million ounces of silver, but there's derivatives out there for 30 million. Well, there's only 3 million. How the fuck are they selling 30 million? And that's what's going to come to the end, because who's going to buy it? Because then you're stuck with 30 million that you don't have. And as the prices go up and as everybody wants physical, the idiot that bought the 30 million's fucked. And that's why you're not shorting it, because there's nobody stupid enough to buy it now. There's still some. It's still corrupt. You'll still have a Madoff and these other idiots and the Fink who are buying it because they think their money's not going to be touched by the inflation because they're fucking idiots. So even idiots can be rich and powerful. They're the ones running the government. So keep that in mind. Don't ever forget that. The bankers are running the government, not the other way around. So that's why when the SEC doesn't catch Madoff, it's because they were paid off. That's why they didn't. But does Netflix ever once bring that up? Are they clueless to figure out the $64 million question of why the SEC never found them guilty? Because they were paid off. I mean, it's so obvious to anybody who has any brains at all that the SEC was paid off, because how could you miss it? I just watched it in the first 10 minutes and I knew why it was the scam, because I can't pick 100% games and I can't win every week because it's impossible. How this guy picked the stocks right every time is impossible. How you would get the 20% every month is impossible. So unless you're a total idiot, you would have figured that out and got your money out immediately if he wouldn't answer your question and you still were stupid enough to go with him. So if they can't answer your question, you don't go with them. Same thing with women, same thing with jobs, same thing with anything else. That's the lesson learned. That's who you trust. Somebody who's willing to do like me and explain, this is how we pick football. This is what I look for. These are the variables. No, you can't use a math formula. I'm being honest with you. And then we pick the games, and you hear the games, and you know the picks, and then you bet them. And it's not a surprise. I didn't switch the game, right? If I got Frisco, I got Frisco. That's who I bet. That's what won. That's what you see. And I'm telling you on Thursday. I'm telling you on Wednesday. See, again, I hear you, Nick. Are they really going to shut off the cars? Now, what would be the value of shutting off your car? Oh, well, we can get the mafia. Well, no, the mafia is the one in control. You're not going to get them. You're going for the criminals, but the criminals are running the roost. They're running the hen house. So you're not going to shut the criminal off. You're going to shut me and Nick off from driving home from work. Why would you shut our car off? You need us to work to make you give you our tax money, because that's corrupt. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't know what the point is and how are they going to do it. And they're going to go through. That's like saying they monitor our text and our phone calls. Yeah, not really. They can if they go, oh, it's Nick. Let's look at Nick's history. Then they would. But if you don't give them a reason to look at the history, they don't know what you're texting or calling or WhatsApping or anything like that. They don't know that because it's not because they can't monitor everything. So it's like what we were talking, the $600 on PayPal and the IRS. They're not. They're just trying to scare you. It's like the speed limit's 45, but we all speed and very rarely get caught. A little bit more with a red light or a stop sign. If you run that, there's a little bit more chance. But if you run a red light and it just turned red, chances are you're fine. Unless there's a known police are sitting at that intersection, you're not going to have any problems. The right on red, I make that all the time. Don't make a right on red. As soon as I see it's clear, I make the right. Who's going to pull me over? Well, I hope I don't jinx myself, but yeah. Nobody's going to pull you over for it's clear you made a right on a red at an intersection where there's not a car in a mile. Are they really going to get you? Now, legally, you shouldn't, but are the cops going to waste their time pulling you over because you made a right on a red that really you didn't interfere with traffic? So I think the key is the interference with the traffic, like the interference in the football game. Was the play there, and did he stop the guy from catching the ball? And if it's on the other side of the field, you probably shouldn't be making the call. But anyway, what else, boys? We talked on gold and silver. As soon as COMEX blows up, apparently is what it is. I believe it's when when the Russia Chinese announced they have gold and they have the dollar backed by gold. And I'm hearing more and more that China's got 40,000 ounces and Russia's got 20,000 ounces. It might not all be in the Federal Reserve. Putin probably has it in his basement, probably got 10,000 ounces of it. So it's in Russia, but it's not in the central bank. So when they say they got, 2,000 tons of it, yeah, in the central bank, but in Russia, it's 15,000 tons, which means it's all in Putin's hands and all in Xi's hands in China. So there's plenty of gold there. So when they go on the gold standard, they'll have the gold. And then we want it to go up a little because now we have the monopoly of gold. We have all the gold. Therefore, we can set the price high. And if you want it, you're going to pay $50,000 for the ounce. Right now, what the U.S. is doing is stupid because they're allowing Russia and China to buy it at $1,900, $2,000 an ounce now. What the fuck are they doing? Why would you invite other people in unless you're so fucking stupid that you don't understand anything about gold and silver or inflation? because you're a fucking communist and a Keynesian and you don't know the difference. You don't understand what inflation is. You think we can just keep printing money. Therefore, we don't need gold and silver because we have our money. We're just going to keep printing it, not understanding that you can't. That's what inflation is. It'll hurt the value. So this is how stupid these people are running it. This is the problem. So when you believe government, you got to be crazy. You got to be crazy if the government says anything. If you Biden, first of all, when I see Biden on TV, I change the. Secondly, whatever he says, I totally don't believe. And third, anything the government tells me, I know is a lie. It's funny. I've been watching Basic Instinct 2. And I'll send a pit out to my girl. So I'm watching Basic Instinct 2. And what happens in Basic Instinct 2 is I gotta think. They don't buy metals because they don't know shit. Yeah, well, exactly. Oh shit. What was I talking about? I'm sorry, I had to say hi to Daria. It's late there. It's in Russia. It's 2:00, so it's like 10:00. So she goes to sleep soon. My girl in Ukraine can't even take a shower because it's so cold out. The water's not working in the shower. Can you fucking believe this? Fuck, what was I talking about? Basic Instinct 2. Oh, corruption. Yeah, I mean, it's just all over the place, the corruption. They, you can't trust the government. Oh, there was a corrupt cop. That's what it was. The guy from Harry Potter's in the movie. And he's very corrupt. And he's trying to get Sharon Stone, just make up something, we'll get her. And it just shows you how corrupt everything is there. But it's just, that's how the government is. It gets paid by the bank. So the bank's their employee, not the fucking, they're supposed to work for us. And just a second. They're supposed to work for us. So the idea of government is me to be his congressman or governor, and I'm supposed to do what Bobby wants me to do. Bobby's my boss. And somehow it got turned around that JP Morgan is the boss of the governor and senators. And what Bobby wants, who elected me, I tell Bobby to fuck off. I'm working for JP Morgan. How that happened, I don't know. A lot of it's because of the central bank and the printing of money, because with gold, you can't really inflate. So what are you going to give me, 10 ounces of gold? But if I give you $2 million because I go to the back room and print it out, if I do that, then, oh yeah, sure, JP Morgan, whatever you want. And that is part of the reason they go to a central bank, which is totally illegal, and go to paper, which is totally illegal. The only currency based on the Constitution supposed to be is gold and silver, because they know the corruption problems. They could see what happened in France and England and Spain. So they knew that. So they know we don't want paper because we're going to have inflation and it's going to fuck the country. So all you can do is be on the gold standard and gold and silver. And that's why the U.S. became the number one country the whole 1800s and then and then when we went central bank paper in 1913, we started going downhill. But we had so much collateral stockpiled. Now we're at the end of the stockpile. Now we're fucked. And believe me, Russia and China read Adam Smith, the same thing. Adam Smith actually, no, whatchamacallit, the little guy, The Economist. Jesus Christ. My mind's going. Somebody went to China. God, I can't believe I can't think of this guy's name. fuck. Anyways, an Austrian economist goes to China, fixes China, and all of a sudden they got a great economy. Now they went back to inflating, and they've got they still have gold, but they're really not on the gold standard, so they're fucked. The stream keeps breaking up for some reason, Professor. I think YouTube is trying to block Bobby Wolfram. Yeah. Well, I got a little message that I was having the problem, but it's gone away. So YouTube's been funny today. It even took me a while to go live. It says click to go live, and then it kind of reiterates, and then it says you're live. And even that took me a while. But I am getting these little breaks in the thing. But now it looks clear. So we'll see. But it looks fine to me. I'm not free. Sometimes I see myself freeze, so I get a little worried if you see me freezing, but it seems fine right now. You two don't want to hear the truth. They can't handle the truth. Okay, well, if I freeze up, I'll know, but right now I'm not frozen and I don't have the message, so I think we're okay. So anyway, you've got to understand that's the basic. The banks print the money. That's why Thomas Jefferson and George Washington didn't want the money. They wanted gold and silver because you can't print it. So now here comes 1913, and they go to the Federal Reserve, which is illegal. They go to the dollars, which are legal. You caused 2 wars, World War I, World War II. How do you pay for the war? They print the money because politicians talk about greedy assholes. Those are the worst. Anybody that would run for politics is only doing it for the money. They don't care about us. They're not trying to make America better. They're making it far worse. This whole border thing in California and Arizona, this whole inflation thing. What is that? Who's running this place, right? But whoever's running the fucking place are the people that are corrupting everything and basically killing everything. So that's really the problem. That's why I went to Lisbon to look there, but not enough people speak English. But it's the same thing all over the fucking world. The Keynesian / we'll call them communist, socialist Nazis are the ones trying to run the world, which was Hitler's goal of world domination. They're trying to do it with money, and it's kind of working. But here comes China and Russia with gold saying, no, there won't be a one world order or new world order because you got China and Russia here, the US, England, and Canada here. So you got 2 different teams. How are you going to have a one world government? Plus, you couldn't if you wanted to, because why would anybody listen to it? Again, it goes back to Say's law. Is there demand for the product? Is there demand for a one world government? Is there demand for the US dollar? No. People need to be waking up, but you can see the demand for gold is through the fucking roof. Okay. I don't know if you were here, Bobby. I read the statistics on electric vehicles. In 2020, there was a whopping 300,000. 2021 was 300,000. And supposedly there's 800,000 in 2022, which I highly doubt. But out of a $16 million market, shows you there's no demand. Meanwhile, gold and silver is gone. That's been mostly bought out. COMEX is basically gone. That's what you're looking for, Bobby, with COMEX. You saw the gold figures I showed you, I believe. So you see gold keep going up and up because the derivatives, they're not shorting because nobody wants to get caught. It's the musical chairs, right? The music's dying and there's no chairs to sit in. So they're not going to keep shorting the gold and silver. The silver they are for some reason, which I don't know, but the gold they're not doing it. And I believe that it's coming real soon. And it's a lot of the BRICS countries are tired. They don't want the dollar. They're tired of all this gold. Wouldn't you be tired of you have, let's say, Bobby, you had 10,000 tons of gold, which is 32 ounces a ton. So you got a whole shitload of gold. Don't you want it to go up now? Okay, it's 2,000. Now let's go to the 30 grand, 40 grand. Of course, that makes you even richer and more powerful and more control. And you can tell LeBron to kiss your ass. I mean, stuff like that. So That's what you want. You want that to go. So it's going to go. You're fucking Russia and China. You think Biden is going to keep it from going? Now, in 2012, they threatened war. If China said you have 30,000 tons of gold, they had threatened them with war or a gold standard. But now I don't think that's still on the. I mean, it would be like you don't do anything against Russia. You didn't do anything against Afghanistan. I don't believe you're going to do anything. I don't believe there's a war. Plus, you probably want gold to go up too. Well, J.P. Morgan does, but the U.S. government's too stupid to have it. So that's really what's going on. Again, the price is low, so they can keep buying it at this low price until there ain't no more, and there ain't no more. But the boat's left the dock, or whatever that saying is. The ship's gone. The ship's left. So keep that in mind. It's very, very close. Your time limit is almost up, Mr. Bobby Bow. So buy, and buy. That law firm, but buy and buy is screaming at you now. Whatever you can get, start buying 20 ounces, Bobby. Come on, tell the girls you'll meet them after silver goes up, and you need to buy more. Anyway, that's what's going on there. What else can we talk about? So we talk football, we talk gold, we talk sex trade, we've talked economics, Madoff, how it's all related to economics. Oh shit, I might need to jump in my car and ride to the coin store. Well, yeah, I would probably ride there, or you can keep ordering it online and waiting the 2 days and sweating, panicking, going, oh, I hope it comes, I hope it comes. As long as you're getting a good price. But stop buying 2023s. Why would you pay $2 more for the same coin? You're silver. You're not buying. You don't give a fuck. It's 2023. So stop buying 2023s unless it's the only thing in inventory. If they do have the 2022s and they're cheaper, buy them. If they have the Buffaloes and they're cheaper, buy them. And I know how you are. You got to have variety. Well, you're going to fly to Australia to go buy kangaroos from the kangaroo guy. You go to the kangaroo store and buy it. I buy my Buffaloes in person and Eagles online, and of course Maples and Kangaroos online. Well, I mean, my guy has Maples and Kangaroos. I haven't bought a lot of Maple silver. I usually bought a lot of Eagles, and now I'm buying a lot of Buffaloes. And once in a while, if I were to see, well, I see the Maple Leaf, but they're more apt to scratch, and the Buffaloes are cheaper. And again, our goal is to buy an ounce of silver. Yes, I love the variety. Well, I know you do, Bobby. But start giving me some gold. I want to hear you bought a Cougaran. You bought a Maple Leaf. I want to hear that, Bobby. That's important for the class. That's part of your homework. You must present silver and gold. You can't just present silver to me. You got to present the gold. The fucking gold looks great. The maple leaf, the gold maple leaf looks beautiful. It's so shiny. Like you're questioning, is my silver okay? When you look at a maple leaf, that's a really nice looking 1 ounce gold. That fucking thing shines. You know, man, I don't have a question. That's gold. I know that's gold. I can tell that. Oh, absolutely. The Maple Leafs are beautiful because they don't mix a lot of the other stuff in. So Cougaran mixes more stuff, more copper, more silver. You still have the ounce of gold, but it's like 1.25 ounces. The Maple Leafs is basically 1 ounce and 0.3 with a little bit of maybe silver or copper in it, but it's more pure. But it doesn't matter. As long as you got 1 ounce of gold, you got 1 ounce of gold. That's all you care about. Yeah, the Eagles don't look as shiny. It depends. I've got shiny Eagles. All of mine shine. I mean, some of the Cougarans look a little bit done, but then when I look at the year and it says 1992, okay, 1 ounce of gold. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. I did buy a lot of Cougarans because they're so much cheaper. I probably paid $1,700 for the Cougarans. And now it's going to cost you $2,000 to go buy your ounce of gold, and that's going up. It's gone up every day. Like I just showed you, $120 in the last 30 days. Gold's gone up. Here we go, to quote the Joker. It's gonna go, and it's just, it's like tea, right? It's about to whistle, and that's what you have. It's about to blow. You are seeing the proof, and silver will be right on its tail. They move in tandem. I hope those bastards didn't sell me fake silver eagles, or why would you think they're fake? And if you bought them from that place, do they say 1 ounce of silver on it? Well, what did you got? You got what, maple leafs and kangaroos here? No, you got eagles. So take out some of your old eagles, but as long as they say 1 ounce of silver, 999, and it looks silver and it doesn't look a different color, the only really way to tell will be a different color. Or take it into your coin store and say, I just want to, I bought it from my brother. Can you just verify it's silver? I guarantee you're not getting it online like this, and it's not, if it doesn't look silver. What color does it look, Bobby? Well, you need the bat. You got that bat with you all the time, right? So you sleep with the bat and the silver. Okay, very interesting. Only says $1. It better say 1 ounce of silver, 999. Let me get mine. Hold on. Always making me work, aren't you, Bobby? All right, so this is the other container. It's a little bit bigger, but it's for the eagle. Now, what color is yours? This looks very silver to me. I have absolutely no doubt it's silver. What does yours look like? Does yours not have this color? Now, this is a 2021. It's still nice and shiny. It says $1, 1 ounce fine silver. $1 ounce silver, $1, 1 ounce fine silver. And no, it doesn't say the 999 on it. In God We Trust 2021. Yeah. So as long as it says, I'm trying to get the right line. 1 ounce fine silver. I hate that. I say I don't want the call, and he calls back. Like, just leave a fucking message. The back doesn't say 999. It says 1 ounce fine silver. $1. Eagles are the only ones that don't show the 999. Okay, well, it's U.S. It's dated. It's 1 ounce fine silver. So nobody's going to challenge you based on this description. Right there, 1 ounce fine silver. So nobody's going to say it's not silver. It looks silver. It says 1 ounce fine silver and it says $1, and it's U.S. So I don't know how that wouldn't go, but you can see. So you put them in here. There's 20 in there, and then you just top it. Now I usually top it off center. I don't like to put it square on. I do it like this because it's a bitch if it's lined up. It's a bitch to get it open. Here I can just pop one of the corners. So no, it's not 99. That's fine. We don't care. I think the Canadians do. Some of the other ones do, but we basically don't worry about that. So, see, did this clown leave a message? See, so he calls twice, doesn't leave a message. What the fuck? $502. I don't know what that is. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. So yours is fine. I mean, unless your coloring's way off, why would you think it's fake? If you're going to a coin store online, a gold store online is pretty reputable. If you don't trust it, then I'm going to tell you don't buy it from them. I'm going to tell you to go to the fucking coin store or call my guy and say, I don't want to worry about it. So if you go to the store, you can easily look, yep, it looks silver. Everything looks fine. The maple leaves could get scratched, so you want to make sure you get a good condition one. But when you walk out, you don't have any questions. Even if you want, say test it. Can you just run how do you test silver? I know gold you use a magnet, but I don't think you use a magnet on silver. Yes, life. I'm here hyped up now that I know my Eagles are they're real, Bobby. As long as it says 1 ounce of silver, even if they're not real, when you go to sell it, it says 1 ounce of silver. Nobody's going to question if it's an ounce of silver or not. So, so here's 20. So you can see the container. It's a bit bigger. It's like square, and it's got this kind of top. That's what you need for Eagles. Now you can put the Buffaloes in there, but the smaller one with the white top, it's hard to get the Eagles into that container. You can put therefore the Buffaloes, and obviously they're a little bit different in size. So that's all you need to worry. But I wouldn't worry about it, Bobby. But you got to start buying these, Bobby. Buy the whole 20, or buy the Canadians. You can buy 25. That's what you should be buying, not this stuff, not 10. Come on, you're a ball player. We expect you to act professional around in my class, which means we buy 20s. Believe me, you'll be happy you did when the shit hits the fan. You're going, oh, yeah, I got 100 ounces. That's got to be your first goal, Bobby, is to get 100 ounces before the shit hits the fan. That's your homework. Well, you're gonna whoop ass them, whatever Stone Cold says. Anyway, God, I haven't watched wrestling in a long time. It's so bad. It's like, what the fuck? I heard Vince McMahon's selling it or buying it or something. I don't know. I haven't really followed it, but I was on one of the news things. Anyway, so this is about to go through the roof. So I'm showing you the proof of the price going up $100, $120 in 30 days. We're in 2023 and we're in January. March 7th. I do expect some gold and silver from my class. Let's see where we are at my birthday. And I bet it ain't going to be 1910. We're going to see at least 1 2 in front of it, if not 2 2s. Very, very close. And all the people who want gold to go up are now wanting it to go up. They realize the dollar's fucked, so it's just they're going to come out with a new dollar anyway. But you know, all those with the gold make the rules want the gold price to go up, and it will. The real demand is so much higher. I don't know if I can get that. Let me see if I can get. So let's change this to So I already told you on August 17, 2021, Palantir bought 50 million in gold bars in August as cash pile grows. I've already shown you this article. This was back in 2021. So somebody knows something, or they're not. Who's going to spend 50 million? Is there a way that we can test for silver? Well, let's see. I love this. What is physical gold worth? And they give you the COMEX prices. Look how fucked this is. How much is real gold worth? How much is physical? And they give you COMEX. How much gold is owned by U.S. citizens? Total U.S. government gold reserve says 261 million. I don't know if that's ounces or what the fuck it is. If you hear the silver squeeze, what a squeeze is the combination of fewer people looking to sell gold and silver and a growing number of buyers is squeezing the availability of physical precious. So when you hear squeeze, it's a stupid term. What it means is there's no supply and there's huge demand, which is what I talk about all the time. Let's see. Yeah. Who owns the most physical gold? Yeah, we won't get a good answer. Yeah, the United States, my ass. See, here's where they lied to you. Because they'll say the U.S. owns 8,000, but they'll say, oh, well, Russia owns 2,000 and China owns 2,000. And that's where I get lost. But who owns the most gold privately? Gold has Forex. Well, that's not the question. So I don't know. You can't get an answer on gold. But demand chooses all I can say. Bobby. Oh, well, let's check. By the way, you hit the nail right on the head, Professor. 100 ounces is my first ultimate goal for silver. And yeah, WWE was better when it was called WWF. Well, in the old days, you had Hart, Bret Hart, and Owen Hart, and the Hart guys, and you had Hogan and Ric Flair and Piper. It was good versus evil, which was very good, right? And then Hogan turns into a bad guy, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing, Hogan? That was a huge mistake by Hogan. Now you have bad versus bad. There is no good guys. It's just so stupid. When Brock Lesnar is your big guy and The Undertaker, it's like, okay, been there, done that. And Brock Lesnar isn't even a wrestler. He's that XMA fighter, whatever it is. And all he does is he does the same move 50 times. Oh, I'm going to give you a suplex. Okay, that's really boring. This is wrestling. This is not what I'm watching. And it's just so stupid. Okay. Bobby Bow. Let's see. How do you test silver to make sure it's real? How to test gold, silver at home. Well, okay. So their answer is to work with a reputable dealer. I mean, that's not answering the professor's question, which is us. Fortunately, making phony coins or bars isn't easy. The equipment involved is significant. It takes far more than a color printer and the right paper. And making fakes good enough to pass a few simple tests is damn near impossible. There are some lower budget ways you can determine whether or not the bullion you hold is genuine. Here are 5. How to tell if gold's real? Well, we already know gold. They're very dense metals. So just about all the fakes that weigh correctly will be too large in diameter or thickness. Okay. See, again, they keep saying gold. My question is silver, not gold and silver. Magnet test. The above video on ping testing also references another simple technique for using a magnet to identify fakes. Gold and silver are non-mag. Okay, so silver is the same way with the magnet. Placing a strong magnet on a coin and tipping it to watch whether the magnet slides off as it should or sticks. All right, is real silver magnetic? Silver possesses a number of remarkable properties that make it valuable in a variety of industrial and high-tech applications. Silver is dense, highly reflective, and one of the most highly conductive metals in existence. However, silver is not magnetic. So to answer your question, Bobby, use the magnet for silver like you do gold. All right, where were you? Okay, yeah, Hogan went to the NWO. Now the new guys just don't have the charisma. It's a shitty product. Yeah, that's why I don't watch it. For us, you think silver will hit 300 this year? Buy 2 more gold bars and have any coins. Hit about $2,000 this year. Silver's are going to 2,000, gold's going to 50,000. It's going to happen this year. I mean, as soon as they're waiting for the blow up of COMEX, which is blown, and the dollar, the Russian China dollar backed by gold. So the gold standard. So yeah, once they announce it, and I'm expecting them to announce it this year. So as you can see, the silver, here's the magnet, here's the silver. It doesn't stick. This is real. So if it would stick, it wouldn't be real. So let's go through a couple. Yeah, these are nice shiny silvers. See, I know it's real. It doesn't stick to the magnet. So that's your simplest test. But as long as you're buying it from a reputable place, it's going to be good, and you really shouldn't worry about it. So I think we're headed silver at least $2,000, because once the shit hits the fan, it's not going to go from 30 to 35 to 40. You can see how gold's running up $120 in January, so you can see what's happening. I think that true up, as my guy was saying, December 27th is probably what happened. The shit hit the fan then. And now all the gold is not being derivative back down. As you can see, it's going one way. And, the more we see it, the more it's going to run. 2 more bars and have 70 coins. Oh, so you need, what do you have, Bobby? You have 68 coins, or a guy at the College Station, Texas coin shop said silver is going to 5K in 2025. Well, why? See, then you've got to be analytical like the professor and ask him, well, what's going to happen in 2025? Why won't it do it in 2023? He then asked me, you think LSU is going to beat A&M tonight? In which Bobby Bo answered, A&M is going to get their ass kicked, and they got a good laugh. Unfortunately, I was wrong and lost my wager in the process. See, but when somebody says that, ask them why in 2025. Do you think it is going to take 3 years for the NASDAQ to end and the Russia and China to back their gold, or to back their money with, have the gold standard on their money? Sanctions, that was the word I was thinking of. So when the U.S. runs sanctions on Russia, all the other countries are saying, fuck this. They're going to sanction us. So they look for they have their own currencies. They just don't do business with the U.S. He mentioned that he read it somewhere. Well, okay. Yeah, and I watched Madoff, so that doesn't help. As I've explained over and over, you can't trust what you read, especially government. Will it go to 5,000? Yeah, it'll easily go to 5,000, but it'll hit 2,000, and then the light will go on. Then everybody will jump into the gold and silver, and that demand will then move that up. So we got our Canadian club, which we love so much, and it's $80 on the shelf. All of a sudden it gets bought out. Now it's $100, and people are buying it out. Now, what if everybody runs to buy Canadian club and they can't keep it on the shelf? They keep raising the price. So they see it at 100, they see it at 120. I'm buying Canadian club. Blah, 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 blah. But if you're doing it with gold and silver, as people realize that now going up, it's not staying down, then everybody wakes up and goes, oh, fuck, here we go. Now, as they come on board, it pushes the price up even more, because now you have an infinite amount of coins, right? I got 20 in here. I don't have 60 in here. Now, I do have 3 other ones that I do have 60. But if I got 20 and I put it out there, you guys are bidding it up, right? Now I got 50 guys wanting the 20 ounces. I raise the price, because you'll say, I'll pay 50 for it. And the other guy says, I'll pay 60 for it, because I need the physical. And it keeps getting, that keeps happening. And I wonder what I dropped. So as that keeps happening, the price keeps going up. So as all these people in the U.S. start understanding gold and silver, that's what makes it go from maybe 40,000 to 60,000 for gold, and 2,000 to 5,000 to 10,000 for silver. People will realize they're all fucked. They all got Bernie Madoff, and the only way out of it is to buy the gold and silver, because their paper money's not going to be worth too much. So they'll come out with a new paper. If it ain't backed by gold, it's going to go to zero the same way until they come out with paper backed by gold. And we'll see. But if the Chinese and Russians and the BRICS countries are coming out with a dollar backed by gold, the U.S. has to. And that makes our gold go way, way, way up, and the silver too. It comes along. It's all part of the package. So that's what happens with it. So when he said that, did you believe him? Did you feel good? Like, oh, somebody besides the professor thinks that? Or, I'm very, very confident that what I'm saying. They could have heard it from me. That's the problem. They hear it from one guy, and it's the same guy telling it 2 times, just other people hearing it. But that's what you're looking for. The end of COMEX and the new dollars, the new gold standard, the new backed by gold, ruble, and China, and then all hell will break loose. And that's what we're waiting for. But we know it will happen. It's just soon. I don't think it'll take till 2025. I think it'll be before then, but we'll see. Anyway, so we've hit football, we've hit gold, we've hit economics, we've hit the girls in the Ukraine having issues being trafficked. It was a very interesting YouTube thing yesterday. It's just amazing how the girls, they said I'd be a maid. Who? And you just trust this person out of no doubt. You just trust the person. Really, that's what you do. Oh my God. So that shows you how gullible people are, that they'll just believe something and not check it out. Keep that in mind. We check it out and we analyze. You missed my NFL. Well, go back 2 hours to the beginning of the tape. You'll get it, Bobby. I'll redo it in a second. Hey, Phil. But I caught yesterday on replay was great. Rants you had, many good points, and entertaining also. I like the Chargers a lot. What you think? Oh shit, Phil! In 2 hours, it's 2 hours late. Yeah, Phil. Well, he's got a doctor's note, so he's okay. You'll like today's show, Phil. It was really good. All right, let's go through the football for Bobby. He's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Frisco, 9.5 over Seattle, 42.5. We like San Francisco here. If you can tease it down to 2.5, maybe do a 7-point teaser to 2.5 would be good. If it's 9, just like it, Phil. Very entertaining, of course, but I get into Madoff that he was not the real. He was the puppet, but he wasn't the one doing the Ponzi. There's the 4 guys, and the SEC was clearly paid off, as was J.P. Morgan. Those were the real Ponzi schemers. Madoff, this was the puppet. Gold-plated, perhaps. He needs to bring silver and gold to class when there should be like a little dollar jar, but in my dollar jar, you put in an ounce of silver. And then we have a party at the end of the year when it's worth $5,000 an ounce. San Diego, Jacksonville, it's 1.5 or 2 or 2.5. Try to get the 1.5, 47.5. Yes, I like San Diego. I do like, obviously, Herbert over Lawrence. Look what happened when they blitzed Lawrence the whole second half. He didn't have a completion. The only reason they won was on the worst incomplete fumble call I've ever seen in my life since the Tom Brady call against Oakland. So basically, he threw the ball. It's incomplete. They call it a fumble. Like, really? Even though his head was going forward, clearly. So that's Jacksonville's offense. So watch Khalil Mack and Boza just sack the shit out of Lawrence. Buffalo, 13, 43.5. I like Buffalo, but try to keep it under 7 or 7. That's the free play in the class. Buffalo minus 13 or minus 7. We always talk teasers. Most of it's because Tagliabue is out, maybe Bridgewater's out, and they got such a weak defense that Buffalo at home should roll. Giants mini 3, 48.5. I like the over because I ain't trusting Minnesota with the 25 defense, and the Giants laid down last week, so I can't bet a team that doesn't try. They think they can turn the switch on. They can't just turn the switch and say, okay, now we're going to play. Have Daniel Jones play. He sucks anyway. What's he going to do? And all he wants to do is run. Cincinnati, 9.5, 40.5. Try to get them under 3. So a good teaser would be like Frisco down to 2.5. Cincinnati down to 2.5 would be a nice teaser. And I don't think Lamar is playing. He's missed practice. They keep giving this. He's going to take the shot on the knee, maybe, but it's still swollen. He hasn't played in 6 weeks. Even if he's out there, you think he's going to run like he's got speed. Cincinnati's going to kill him. And then Dallas, 2.5, 45.5 over Tampa Bay. Dallas actually tried last week and got killed by Washington on 2 fumbled punts and a pick 6. That was Washington's offense. I don't know what to do with this. Brady beat him 19-3 the first game. I like Brady as a home dog. you cannot bet against Brady as a home dog in the playoffs. Sorry. So I like Brady there. Free play, Buffalo. I have one lock going and one other teaser going. If you want to buy, www.teaserking.com. You can at least get the lock. If you want, for $100, you can have all my playoff plays. Keep in mind here, I don't play all these, and you don't know if I'm locking them or not, but I am trying to help you. So if you're thinking of San Diego, like Bobby is, I'm saying take it. Is that my lock? Is that one of my plays? We don't know. But for $100, you can have all my plays, all the whole playoffs through the Super Bowl, instead of buying them weekly. Yes, 100%. Herbert is way better than Lawrence. I didn't need you to tell me that, Bobby, but yeah, I know. That's like saying Nolan Ryan's better than Ron Guidry or something like that. I didn't really like Herbert in college, but he has proven to be a good NFL quarterback so far. Well, he ran a lot, and he was from that small college, right? Then he transferred to Oregon, and he ran a lot. So there's nothing to really like. But yes, he's real out. It's really strange. He'll win the game for you at the end, but why are they down that he has to win the game for me at the end in the first place? The Lamar thing is pretty much summed up, in my opinion. He plays the first half of the season, in which he blows fourth quarter leads. Then he gets injured and sits out the second half of the season and gets all his money, an ongoing cycle. He's not good. All right. He's not a good quarterback. Like the Buffalo game. How did they lose the Buffalo game? They're up like 17-0 with Lamar, and he doesn't show up in the second half. They figure him out. He does nothing. That's my point about Lamar. He's too easy to figure out. His speed doesn't help him in the NFL because you bring in safeties and fast linebacker. And hell, the defensive ends are just as fast as Lamar. And if you put pressure on him, he can't go anywhere. So he only does well against Houston and Indy and shitty teams that don't have a fast defense. That's where he shines. That's why he doesn't win playoff games, because then you get the strong defenses in. What do you think he'd do against Frisco? Do you think he'd get 5 yards running? And you think they would score against San Francisco if Baltimore played Frisco in the playoffs? You think? Well, we'll see him against Cincinnati. I doubt he'll do anything against Cincinnati. They just beat him 27-10. It'll be the same game. I don't know why Dallas is favored. I really don't get that. They are not the better team here. They lost to fucking Washington, and they played all their guys, and they tried to win, and they lost. That pick six by Prescott, man, he's a great quarterback. See, how come we can see that he sucks, but the coach and the GM can't see that he sucks? This is the problem I don't understand. You're a fucking coach. You're supposed to have a great eye for talent, and yet you have a quarterback that me and the boys see sucks, but you don't see it. And instead of going to Cooper Rush to probably beat Tampa, you stay with Prescott. He gives you the 2 interceptions. Washington, a game you need. What makes you think he's good? I don't understand that. If I was Dallas, I would trade him Prescott. Now, Rising's supposedly playing a 6th year at Utah, so he's not in the draft. I don't know about Hartman. He's in the transfer pool. So I don't know who's available in the draft. I think Duggan. I think I don't know. Thompson Robinson at UCLA should be. I don't think the USC guy, Bo Nix. You can bitch all you want. Oregon scored 40 a game, and they had to have a good quarterback to do it. Phil, y'all talking about how Clemson grabbed the TCU OC Riley. He must think TCU just had a lucky year. So the TCU offensive coordinator went to Clemson? That doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? He's not the reason they were good. The reason they were good was the coach. TCU's head coach is the offensive coordinator, so that won't matter. That's like when the Carolina Panthers grabbed the LSU coach, right? The offensive coordinator for Burrow. They thought he was the key. He goes to Carolina. They still average 10 points a game. It was Burrow. Here, it's the head coach, Sonny Dykes, is the offensive guru, not the OC. So Clemson just made a big mistake. I remember the Falcons would often do that with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and those guys, where they will go crazy in the first half. Then in the second half, it's fucking radio silence. Yeah, they were never any good. 28-3 halftime Super Bowl score, Bobby. I'll never. But why did they lose? They lost because of the fucking offensive coordinator, the year coach of the 49ers, Mr. Shanahan, who decides to keep passing with a 28-3 lead. And what happens? They get closer and closer. They get closer and closer. You know, they're trying to sell me Medicaid or something. They get closer and closer. Then on the last drive, Julio Jones makes that great catch. And what happens? Now the fix is in. A holding call against Atlanta. Why aren't you just taking 3 knees and kicking a fucking field goal? And you're up 9 or 10 and the game's over. What are you doing? He's passing the ball. Atlanta the title. Now, was it fixed? I don't know. It seems like it. Phil, yeah, supposedly the TCU guy is all but signed at Clemson, but as an OC again, seems like the kind of sideways move to me. I would stay at TCU. I mean, they got a better head coach for offense than you're going to get at Clemson, who's got a terrible coach. Bobby, yeah, that's right, Phil. I remember watching that Super Bowl with friends, and I am the only one who called that Brady comeback. It was tailor-made. Brady comes back, and the Falcons do what they do, blow it. I called it too, Bobby. I had the over in the game. I had the dog in the over, and Atlanta got up like 28-3, and I said, good. Now I'll get the over because when Tampa Bay takes, scores, it'll be over the 50 points I needed or whatever it was. And so when he scored, I think I needed that last touchdown to go over, to go to overtime. So that was I love that one. Felt infuriating that Falcons game was allowed 32-point, 3 2-point conversions also. Also think something was off that game, impossible to blow that lead naturally. Yeah, but it can't be Atlanta because they were the dog, so they couldn't have fixed it. Now, did the league want New England? And that's the refs, which, yes, at the end, certainly gave it to New England. But I don't think Atlanta's laid down because they got up 28-3. Teams that are fixed, like the Baltimore-New York Jets Super Bowl, Earl Morrall was fixed. Now, to repeat what I said yesterday, because it's so interesting, Carol Rosenblum, the fucking owner of the Baltimore Colts, and the spread was 18, bet $3 million on the Jets, and the line lowered to 15. How the fuck did the league let that happen? Meanwhile, Rosenblum got into gambling debts, and that's how he died. Apparently, the guy swam with somebody every time he swam, except for when he got drowned. There's a little black shadow of somebody pulling him under, and he died. He got drowned. He got killed because he didn't pay mafia debts. So there you go. That game was fixed. Earl Morrall fixed the game. It was very obvious. So that one was an obvious fix. But it had repercussions because they wanted the NFC and AFC to merge. And if Baltimore would have beat them 30-0 after what Green Bay did the first two, that would have been it. There never would have been. Well, maybe they would have went to the next year. And KC beat Minnie because everybody beat Minnie. So that was actually real. But with Namath, it made sense. But, yeah, it was even Shula. I saw the latest one video, and Shula's like, what the fuck's going on? Okay, Shula, why didn't you pull in Unitas in the first quarter? After Morrall threw the first interception, why wasn't Unitas in the game? Because he was healthy enough. He played. He was healthy to play. So that's why I think Shula was in on it too. Let's see, Bobby. He most likely went to Clemson for the recognition since Clemson is more mainstream and TCU is more of a smaller under-the-radar team. Not after they made the playoffs and Clemson sucked. And look at Clemson's quarterbacks. I don't know that this guy's got a good quarterback at Clemson to coach. I know he's got a good quarterback at TCU, and they run a very good Sonny Dykes offense. So huge mistake by this offensive coordinator. Clout chasing. Does Clemson really better now? I think they're on their way out. They had their moment, like Florida State. They had the moment. They won with Winston. They were in there a couple times. Now you can't even, they're not even 500 team. And Clemson's right behind them. I think Clemson paid their guys. They got Deshaun Watson, which was, and they were competitive. And then Lawrence sucked. And now Ugala Boogala, who's horrible. What kind of recruiting are they got? See, this is the problem. Oh, Ugala Boogala was the number one quarterback recruited. Really? If this guy's number one, I don't want to see number 10 because he sucks. Phil, the quarterback that started the bowl game for Clemson, along with the Big Ten and the other than the SEC is a joke. The best conference is the Pac-10 and the Big 12. They have the best football. Besides Georgia, there was nobody in the SEC. Yeah, Tennessee and LSU were okay. Alabama sucked this year. It was only Georgia. Florida sucked. Kentucky was decent. But that's like the Big Ten with Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. You got really nothing. Ohio State was okay. Actually, they were the best team because they gave Georgia the best game. Michigan would have got killed. But the Pac-10 was loaded. USC, UCLA, Utah, Oregon, Washington, Oregon State were 6 legitimate playoff teams. And then, as we say, TCU, Kansas State, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Baylor, Texas, all were very strong in the Big 12. So those were your 2 conferences. But because they're not paid off or on the right payroll, they don't get looked at. Why wasn't Utah in the playoff? What the fuck was going on? They beat USC twice. They beat them to win the Pac-10. Why aren't they in the playoff? What's the fucking point of having a league if you're not going to reward the champ? Yeah, the ACC is a joke now. LSU, what LSU? You think they were good? LSU sucked. Yeah, I'm no fan of the SEC. Only fans of SEC teams consider the SEC gods. I guess Bobby's an LSU guy. Are you friends of Shaq, Bobby? Is that what it is? Ohio State and LSU are my teams. Okay. Shaq doesn't go there anymore, Bobby. And neither does Joe Burrow or Chase. Everyone else knows they have one team that has dominated. Yeah, Georgia. See how it flipped from Alabama, Clemson to now it's Georgia and Ohio State maybe. But, of course, I go where the money is, hence why I bested Georgia to beat the Buckeyes because I don't bet with my heart. Bobby Bo keeps it straight business like that. Bobby, you kept betting on LSU, Texas A&M. What are you talking about? You're the only one in class who asked me about should I take LSU, and the quarterback's injured, and they got Brian Kelly, and I can't even guess on the outcome of the game. I give you 15 other games to bet, and you want to harp on LSU. Okay, you're the only one, so I don't know about betting with your brain. Yes, LSU should beat A&M. Anyway, that's it. I don't remember the game. I don't know who won, and I don't care. Laugh, but Bobby Bo going to Bobby Bo sometimes. You know that. Yeah, he's hitting the whiskey again. Bobby got 10 ounces of silver in. He's up to 10. He still won't pull the trigger and buy 20. Too many girlfriends for him to not be able to buy 20 ounces. Anyway. So, yeah, that's what we watch. So we get this next year. And then we'll track where the coaching changes were and the transfer portals because it's too much. I don't need to know it now. I'll buy this in June, July, and that's when I start doing my research. And then we have to wait the first few weeks to find out who's the new Kansas, who's the new TCU, because you actually had to play and see Kansas win by 50 to realize they're a high-scoring team. If any OC is to go, I would get the Kansas OC. That motherfucker with no talent had great play calls. I mean, it didn't matter if they're playing Oak State, Baylor, or TCU. You couldn't fucking stop them. I mean, they had these wonderful little plays that they ran, and it was just unbelievable. They'd always have a guy open. They could run. Oh, what a great offensive coordinator Kansas has. Oh, my God. I mean, think about it. He has no talent, and for them to score 40 points a game, It's that just shows you it's all the coordinator if you have a good one. Real quick. Which Meg is that? Use the Phil Steele. Oh, I hate Phil Steele. This is Athlon. I do not like Phil Steele at all because Phil Steele doesn't really grade the teams. He looks at the schedule and says, "Oh, they're going to come in fourth because they play these teams and they play this team on the road, so that's a loss." I don't want to know that. I want to know an honest opinion of the team. If they're going to come in second or fifth because this is the type of team they are, not because of their schedules. I do not like Phil Steele. I can't do the Athlon. It's got way more info than Athlon. Yeah, but it's not proper material. There's another one, Street and Smiths, maybe you want to get, but I will not get Phil Steele. I mean, I used to get it. It doesn't do me any good. I don't want to know they're going to come in fifth place because of their schedule. How does that benefit us? We want to know strength of the team, matchups. We want to know, do they have a good quarterback? It's the defense, the running back. We want to know that. We don't want to know their schedule causing them the fifth strength. I do like Streets. They are good. Yeah. When I went to the bookstore to buy it, I couldn't find anything. I think they had one of these and I had to buy it because it was just one. But yeah, I mean, I would have rather not got Athlon either, but I didn't have a choice. Although now you can kind of look on Google and go, give me the starting quarterbacks for college football. And you kind of get it. And then give me the coaching changes. So you don't really need it as much. It's just to see who changed. And then once the season starts, I don't use it. I then analyze the games, the box scores, and the scores, and then I go from there. All those preview megs seem to get sold out quick. I don't even know if they make up. I think like they want you to go to their website and buy it. I think. Don't know who needs to pay the extra shipping cost. Then to go to like Barnes and Noble or Borders Books, or used to go to Target and Myers, but they don't seem to carry them anymore because of the internet. So it's probably on the internet. It's like Beckett. Go find a Beckett. But I think if you go to Beckett.com and you want to pay $10 a month, you get to see some of the shit. But they're so bad at pricing things. I mean, anything older they price as a near mint, but not graded. So I don't give a shit that the Montana you price the Montana rookie at $100 because it's a near mint, not graded. When the real PSA 10 price is $100,000, that's what I want to see. But I don't even need to see Beckett for that. I just go to eBay and good luck finding it because you don't see it on there often. But that's where you want to be at. Maybe they sell it. I don't know. Again, I think they want you to go to the site and buy it off the site. Maybe they keep a better track. I don't know. Anyway, so those are your 6 for this. I see the Super Bowl being Frisco, Cincinnati. They're clearly the best 2 teams. Philadelphia, I had to laugh. They beat the Giants with Jarvis Webb by 6. They almost lost to the Giants. They had to settle for field goals. Hurts is obviously hurt. They don't know how to call the game for Minshew, who's much better than they called. Dallas has no chance. Tampa, the Giants and Minnie, forget about it. And then Seattle. So it's really Frisco against who's the bye? Philly. So it's Frisco. Frisco will be in the Super Bowl, and my guess is Cincinnati will beat Buffalo and or KC. Well, they'll have to have the hard road. So they'll have to go to Buffalo, and then they'll have to go to Kansas City. And as we've seen, Buffalo has no problem going to Kansas City since he's beaten Kansas City the last 3 times, including the championship game in Kansas City last year to go to the Super Bowl. So, and without Tyreek Hill, Kansas City is not as good. He got lucky. I mean, Denver sucked this year. Oakland sucked this year. So, KC's not that. They had trouble with San Diego. So I think they'll have trouble next week with San Diego. And we'll see if they even beat San Diego. San Diego might, now that they got Khalil Mack and Bosa's actually playing. Ooh, Bosa's like Lamar Jackson backwards. He sits out the whole year and plays in the playoff, where Lamar plays the meaningless games in September, October, and sits out the rest of the year and complains it's his knee and collects his money. So that's what you get with the running quarterback. Nick, still looking for that Burrow card. So overpriced. Be patient. Go to a show, look at it, make sure it's gem in, and buy one at the show ungraded. Probably your best way to get a really good Burrow card cheap. They probably have it. Don't buy it right after the Super Bowl if Cincinnati wins. If they lose, you can buy it. But like right now is the best time to buy it. But if they win the Super Bowl, the price will go up. You don't want to buy it. Let the price come back down once other sports are there and people aren't as interested. But I'm not going to buy Brock Purdy rookie cards, not yet anyway. He needs to win 2 Super Bowls for that. But everybody laughed at me when I liked Brock Purdy at Iowa State. I got laughed at, just like I'm getting laughed at for Rising and Thompson Robinson and Duggan and Nix and all the other quarterbacks, Hartman, that I like. And they want to go with Bryce Young from Alabama. Put my belt in the next few minutes. Oh, put my bet in. Okay. Phil, price shot up on those Burrow cards. I should have bought last season, but got scared. No, don't worry. Once he wins the Super Bowl, they'll really jump. So it's still low. It's like gold and silver. It's still low. And are you buying graded or not graded? If you can go to a show and find them in gem mint, like I did to Montana, then just buy them. They'll be really cheap because they'll be using Beckett Nearman 8s or Nearman 8s instead of a PSA 10 or 9. So that's how you buy them. One professor, what do you think? Well, didn't you listen when I went through the games, Bobby? Are you sleeping? Is Bobby falling asleep in my class? That's going to cost you an ounce of silver, Bobby. I want it. Send it through the computer. Are you asking me if they'll win the Super Bowl or just beat Dallas? They'll beat Dallas. Will they win the Super Bowl? I don't see how they can beat the Niners. Phil, you got Burrow's rookie card. I know Nick's looking for it. I wish, Bobby. I was saying the other day in class I was going to go buy it, but backed off last year, which I regret. That's okay. No, I don't have a Burrow card. Not yet. He hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. Like I don't have a Herbert card. The only card I got of the new guys is I got a 50 count Mahomes card. I bought it for $50 at one of these sports stores, like a Dick's Sporting Goods. He actually had some. I saw it. It's perfect condition. It's numbered out of 50, and it was only $50. That's the only Mahomes card I got. I haven't been buying them. I've been focused on gold and silver. I can buy cards later when my gold and silver goes up. So I'm going to the best place the best investment for my money, even though we know it's not an investment, but the best place to park your money right now is gold and silver. So I'm focused there. But you can always get it. I mean, you can still get the Montana rookie card, a PSA 9 for 10 grand. So, Nick, I tried to get them right before last year's Super Bowl and was still too pricey. Phil, it is relatively cheap and it's under 200 for a couple of nice rookie cards. So should be a good buy still. Again, to buy the card, you don't want them to win the Super Bowl and then go buy the card. You never want to buy high. You want to buy low and sell high. So to buy low, I want Cincinnati to win the Super Bowl also, but if they win is not the time. You either buy it right now or you wait till like next July to buy it. You don't buy it right away, but you got to have, what are you buying? I did see some limited ones, I think a 50 count one. But it's just gotta, try to buy a limited rookie and then just buy his tops. There's Bowman Chrome Refractor, Topps Chrome Refractor, like I did with Brady. I got an $80 Brady Bowman Chrome Refractor that's now worth $80,000. So but I paid $80 for it because it wasn't even numbered. It's just a refractor, but it's his rookie refractor. And I didn't buy it his rookie year. I bought it, I think, after he won his second Super Bowl. And, so there's plenty of time, boys. Mahomes is the best in the league right now. I would like to get his card if I can. I'll sell it to you, Bobby. You can have it. It's a 50 count. I can show it to you. I'll want 10 ounces of silver for it. How about that? That's $280. That's probably cheap because it's a 50 count. So I'll let you have it for 10 ounces of silver. But if you want to see it, I can show it to you. Each, I mean 200 each. Yeah, I get you, Phil. Bobby, how much is a Mahomes card worth, Professor? And how would we go about selling football cards? It's called eBay. And first, you got to get them graded to get good value. So you just go on eBay and you go on eBay now. Here. Well, I showed you eBay. I showed you the Bobby Bonilla card when you were on the Pirates, right? So eBay seems to be the best market to sell it at, or you go to a sports card show. So let's go to eBay. So there's a Joe Burrow Select rookie card. And it's $139.99. This is in the sold column because I don't care I only want to see what it's sold for because that's the market. So as you can see, pretty nice looking card, but you got to like the look of the card too. So that's 140. I don't know what this Panani is. Let's look for a limited one. Here's like a Panani Select. This is $80 for a rookie card. So it depends what you want. You can get them for $80. You can get them for more. Here's a $231 one. Panani, this is a Prism, so it's a little more limited, but until it has the number on it, it's all these Panani cards, but this one is $231. Let's see. Where's the fucking Tops ones? Those are the best. And here we have Tagliavua. Somebody actually paid $50 for his rookie card. Jesus Christ, bunch of idiots. Now here's a cool one. This is called Leaf Draft, but it's in his LSU jersey. So you'd like that one, Bobby, LSU. And that's only it's not limited it's $32. So there you go. You could have a nice Leaf Joe Burrow rookie card for $32. I don't see too many. Here's a PSA 10. This is a Panini Absolute. This is the guy wanted 80, and they negotiated and said he sold it for the best offer. So there you go, PSA 10. What the fuck's happening? And there's another one right under it. See, the guy made 2 auctions in a row. You don't do that. Then it's not limited. Now here's a big one. This is a Optic Purple Stars Joe Burrow 50 count autograph. And this is 5,000. Oh my God, fucking phone. So this is 5,100. It is out of 50 and it is an autograph. So if you're looking for like a real good one, then you get into that. Let's see. I'm not sure it's a 50 count. It's an autograph. I don't know where the 50 came from. He's saying Purple Stars. Well, he's trying to infer its number out of 50. Maybe just the autograph is numbered out of 50. I love how my phone is being operated by. Is this like the CIA cutting into my phone here? Now here's a real pretty one. This is a 2020 Dunros Optic Joe Burrow Blue. Says out of 179, a rated rookie, and it didn't even get 1,300. The guy wanted 1,300. The bid was under. And always bid under when you're doing this. So that's a real nice looking card, actually. It's a little bit out of focus here, but it's a PSA 10 and it's an optic, whatever that means. I don't like all these Pananis, but see, you can spend $5 hologram Joe Burrow. You can get a Panani. So then you could get this rookie for $41. So they're all out there. It depends what you want to do with it. Now, my Montana was just his regular, it was his rookie card. That's all he had, right? And I probably spent $100 on it. I made sure it was as gem mint as I could find, and I went through 100 of them, and that's what I bought. So here's a little more complex because you got different companies, but as I bought all the different Brady's, the Bowman Chrome ended up being worth a ton. I've got the Pacific Brady rookie that's numbered out of, I think, 366. It's probably worth 25 grand that I got to get it graded, but that's Pacific, but it's numbered. Very important to get it numbered because that's quality. But then PSA 10's the next in the shoot. Let's see, Phil. Hi, Bobby. This is Bobby on drugs. I think Mahomes gets at least 4. 4 what? Completions? To get a card graded, you go to PSA. You mail it. Go to PSA website. So should we buy Mahomes rookie cards before he wins more? Phil. Since he wins the Super Bowl, I would wait till summer. Well, you can buy him now. I just showed you. Should we buy Mahomes rookie cards before he wins more rings? If you think, well, he's a very popular player. You just don't want to get a Steve Young, right, where he won one Super Bowl and he's choke and everything else. I don't think Mahomes is looked at like that. But with Andy Reid, he probably won't win 4 Super Bowls. What is a 50 count and what kind of card? 50 count means they only made 50 and they're numbered. I think it was a Pandani I showed you. So in other words, if the card is numbered and out of 50, they only made 50 of them. And therefore, if that's all they made because it's numbered out of 50. I don't want to go into my safe right now, but I'll show you tomorrow what a count means. It means that's all they made. So talk about Bitcoin being limited at 21 million. Imagine a 50 count Burrow card. What would you rather have? What's more limited? Obviously the Burrow card, and obviously neither of them are money. I'm not saying baseball cards are money, and I'm certainly not saying Bitcoin's money. So they're basically Bitcoin is a poor man's baseball card, but who the fuck wants Bitcoin when you can have Joe Burrow or Bobby Bonilla for that instance? Where and how I get them graded? Go to PSA's website. They'll tell you how you mail it into PSA. PSA then grades it and then mails it back to you. That's how it works. 50 count me, only 50 produced. Phil, how many more rings do you think you'll get is what you should probably ask yourself, Bobby. There was a sports card store close to where I live, but they closed down a few years ago. Usually they have sports card shows. So if you look for sports shows, there'll be a big place or something that's been closed up that they open, and they'll get 50 dealers together, and then it attracts the buyers. So look for that. Your Florida, Tampa should have. I mean, just with Brady there, go to Brady's house. Tell Brady you want some of his rookie cards and please autograph them. Come on. He should at least do that for you. You're in Tampa with the guy. Thanks, Nick. You owe Nick a silver, a 1 ounce silver. Phil, I think Mahomes gets at least 4. Hey, Bobby. Oh, my God. And he has, 2 now? He's got 1. What have you guys been watching? He lost. He beat the Niners and he lost to Tampa. So it would be wise to get Montana cards if you believe that. I'd still buy some Mahomes. The key to this is you got to like the player. I like Joe Montana. I like Tom Brady. How many Tagliabue cards do you think I have? 0. And I will never buy a Tag. You can win 10 Super Bowls. I never buy. You've got to like the player. And then you hope, like Mahomes is a good player. Won the Super. Look at Russell Wilson's card now. You think they're worth anything? He won 1 Super Bowl, lost the second because he fucked up. And then, now he's fucked. And then does anybody still like him? So that's why I'm saying you can buy Russell Wilson cards now cheap. Hey, he won 1 Super Bowl, went to a second, but now you can buy him cheap. So that's what I'm saying. Now, I don't see that happening with Mahomes or Burrows, but I didn't see it happening with Russell Wilson either. So it's really, do you like the guy? Do you buy a Richard Sherman rookie card because you like Richard Sherman? I mean, you're not going to make $1 million on it, but, it's nice if you want it. I got Lawrence Taylor rookie cards out of the 82 tops. They're going for $15,000, and I got 2 of them. I might have 3 of them. I know I got the set, and then I bought because it was Lawrence Taylor, and anyway, but they're not graded yet. Panani is becoming a more popular company, reliable. Is there still Topps and Bowman and Upper Deck out there? Because I don't see any. Where's the Topps and Bowman Chrome and Topps Chrome and all the Topps finest that were out there? Did they all close up shop? Is Topps gone? I've noticed Panani has jumped in kind of recent and done well since my time collecting in the 90s. I don't remember Panani in the 2000s. When I bought the last cards I bought were the Brady cards in 03 or 04. And I bought a few sets, but I don't remember Panani there. Maybe. Aren't they like Flair or somebody? Something like that? No, he has been to 2 Super Bowls, but won 1. Yeah, I already been there, Bobby. All right, let's see. Fuck, I'm losing track here. Okay. He will get 3 more. You want to bet on that, Bobby? He won't get 3 more minimum? Let's bet 20 ounces of silver. He will get 3 more minimum with a doubt as Linguini as he stays healthy. But Andy Reid's his coach, the worst coach I've ever seen in my life. Go ask Donovan McNabb how bad a coach he is. End up with 6. Oh, my God. What drugs are you doing today, Bobby? You're like in some fantasy world. 6 Super Bowl rings for Andy Reid? Phil, that may be a stretch in my opinion, but we can only hope and get the drugs Bobby's on. The CIA is trying to prevent the class from prospering. You never know these days. It's J.P. Morgan, professor. Them are at war with each other. There you go. They're probably supplying arms to Russia and the Ukraine, J.P. Morgan. Bobby must hitting the bong this afternoon. It's okay. I was in bad shape Monday. Do you think Joe Burrow is going away? Like, do you think Mahomes is going to beat Joe Burrow? Really? With that defense? No, Joe Burrow might have 6, not Mahomes. He ain't going to beat Joe Burrow. Where can I purchase the car, though? Go on eBay or go to a card show. How about I buy all 50? Well, then you'd own 50 of them. Then you could burn 49 and then you'd have a one of one and it'd be worth a lot more money. I thought about that. I thought about buying like a 25 count and destroying 24 of them. And then it would be a one of one count, but I'd have to prove because it says 25 on it. My rookie card is a 1 count. You're a rookie card. You're in the Pittsburgh Pirate jersey. You didn't even play for Pittsburgh. You end up, no, you're in the Chicago White jersey, which you never played for. Barry Bonds couldn't handle you, so they shipped you to the Mets. And then what did you do from them? You never went to the Tigers when you were pretty smart on that move. Bitcoin has been going wild this week, up about 2K in 4 days. Not bad, just saying. Yeah. People, okay, so what do we have? We have Madoff, right? So people don't know what to do, so they're asking their friends, or they're asking Madoff, or they're asking these people, what do I do with the money? And the answer is go into Bitcoin, go into the stock market. Don't go into gold. Gold's up so much, but why aren't they, maybe they're going into gold, but problem with Bitcoin is it's not money and it's not numbered. I'd rather have the Tom Brady fucking card, the Burrow card, the Mahomes card than I would Bitcoin. It's not limited. It's not money. It's a stupid investment. So that's what you got to, it's an investment like a card. So you're trying to buy, it's like buying Tagovailoa rookie cards instead of Joe Burrow rookie cards. That's my comment on that. No, there's only one of your rookie cards left, but it's not a one. It was highly produced. It was a Topps. Bobby, yeah, I've been by Brady's house. He rented Derek's old house. Well, then why go get some fucking rookie cards for us? You can, I take gifts for teaching. I'm sure Nick would like a Brady rookie card and have him autograph, have him get like a Topps Chrome one. That's not the refractor. Have them autograph it, but make sure it's a nice one. Nice corners, sharp, and then send it to the class. I'm a huge Mahomes fan. Yeah, I get that. He's going to win 25 Super Bowls. I get that, Bobby. Brady is only better than Mahomes, but obviously his card is at peak, so I can't get his card. Whose card is at peak? Brady? Brady's card's not at peak. There's no peak for Brady's card. It'll keep going up as long as there's demand. If there's demand and the price now in eBay, on gold, it's like this. But Brady's card, the demand's still going to go up. We'll see what he does. He's still playing. I don't see why his is at top. He could win the Super Bowl this year. Then it beat another top. Ron, hi Ron. Buying hobby boxes are better, but no, I don't agree with that because I want to buy Mahomes. I don't want to buy a box of Bowman Chrome and get a bunch of nobodies because the nobodies won't sell. Even if I get a set, I don't like it. I used to do that, right? When I first did it in 1990, we bought a box of Pro Set Hockey and Emmitt Smith's, we bought Score and Topps and Pro Set. You don't want all that crap. The set doesn't sell. The key is to get the card and get it graded PSA 9 or 10. That's where you make your money. The Michael Jordan, now, if you would have bought a wax box of 86 Flair basketball and you didn't get Jordan, Isaiah, Barkley, Bird, Magic, Kareem, you'd probably be pretty pissed off. But if you would have just bought those guys, now you get them graded. Now you're king, right? Unless the whole set was in the box. Pro Set used to be like that. Hoops in the 1990-91, I could buy a box of hoops and make 2 sets out of it. But I was sure happy when I pulled the David Robinson card and the Jordan card. Well, Jordan wasn't anything back then. When I got the David Robinson card and Magic and Bird, I was excited when those made more than the set. The set doesn't sell. Look at the sets. Go look at 82 Tops football. The set, but if you have the Ronnie Lott rookie card, Lawrence Taylor rookie card, the Joe Montana second-year card, there's a few others. The Walter Payton card, Payton and Montana, and the Taylor and the Ronnie Lott. You're gonna make more if they're 9s and 10s than the whole set. Unless you got the whole set graded, why would you do that? So no, I say that's why I don't think Anthony Munoz's rookie is in it. There's a lot of big cards in that 82 top set, but I only want them as 10s. But if you just got the set, and I do, the set I bought for $50. I pull out a Lawrence Taylor worth $15,000. Yeah, I don't want the bucks. Mahomes will win this year, Super Bowl professor, unless Brady wins it. Other than that, KC will win it. Let's bet. How much? Four silver coins. You want to bet 4 silver coins, Bobby? I'll take Cincinnati or San Francisco at worst, just because that killer defense at Frisco. But I think Burrow can handle it. But he's the only one. Mahomes ain't going to handle Frisco's defense. Sorry. I like Burrow. He's good and an LSU guy, but he's not on Mahomes' level. Oh, really? I disagree with that, Bobby. Yes, I played in Pitt and was cleanup because I was more of a home run threat than Barry. Yeah, Barry didn't hit any home runs for a long time. But at the end, you had to walk him because that's all he would do is hit home runs. How many home runs did you hit, Bobby? Did you get to 500, 600, 700? You up there with Babe Ruth? See, that in your card would be worth something if you hit 500 homers. They always put the home run hitter in the cleanup spot. Barry was third. Yeah, I know. I remember the lineup. Except for Mantle and Maris, I guess Mantle was the what was he? So Mantle was third. So Maris was the home run hitter. Okay, I thought Mantle was the home run hitter there, but either way, I would, Professor. But Derek is a former Yankee, and I'm a former Met. Is Derek living there now? No. Tom Brady is a former Michigan guy, and he played for New England and Tampa. So you're fine going to Brady's house. Tell him I sent you. And ask him if he's buying gold, because tell him we need to talk if he's not. Tell him he needs to show up in class or he's going to pay a fine. Phil, the 1989 score set is the best I wish I had as a youngster. So many valuable cards in there. One sharp looking also. Yeah, I love the pennants. Like I love the 65 Topps baseball with the pennants, and I love the what was the 68? I believe it was the 68 Topps football because they had the logos of the teams. I always loved the logo of the teams. It was always just like, wow, this is cool. And I had the 89 score set, but basically I pulled out the Aikman and the Michael Irvin and the Derek Thomas and the Barry Sanders, all that. Yeah, that was a beautiful Chris Carter, and they're all, Montana's not worth as much as he should be in it. Jerry Rice and Elway. Yeah, it was a very nice set. I really liked it. Yeah, but I'm an Ohio State fan, and Thomas, like, there you go. I thought you were an LSU fan or a Texas A&M guy. How many schools did you go to, Bobby? What, every semester you switch schools? Anyway, baseball card collecting, it's got to be what you like. Just like paintings. If you buy a painting, you got to buy it because you like it. And then you hope for an artist that's going to die soon. Jewelry, it's all condition. Cut, clarity, whatever. Get a nice one. And if you're buying old coins, get an MS-70. Get the best condition one. Those will get you the most money. Ohio State absolutely robbed Miami of a back-to-back title. That was completely rigged job if I ever seen. Well, that was terrible coaching by Miami there. What the fuck? Ohio State, all they had is that quarterback who just ran every play for 5 yards. What are you doing covering the receivers? The guy couldn't throw the ball 10 yards down the field. And then they got the running back hurt, which really hurt them. But I agree. Miami should have won that one. But I love when Miami beat Nebraska by 90 points. And the best Miami win was the Nebraska 84 game when they were 14-point dogs and the professor had them. Howard Schellenberger, Bernie Kosar, and there was something about that game. Miami was at home getting 14. This is ridiculous because Miami looks so good and they had such a good defense. And there you go. That is my point on defense. Miami had a great defense. Nebraska did not. They had Irving Fryer and that offense, Turner Gill, but they didn't have the defense. So Miami, Bernie Kosar, great running backs, great receivers, good tight end, and a strong defense. That's what you're looking for. So the good defense shut down Nebraska pretty much, and then they won 31. Now, why the guy went for 2 instead of kicking the extra points? A fucking idiot. You're guaranteed to win the title. Kick the extra point. What are you trying to prove? Well, we don't want to tie. Fuck it. You're lucky. You're lucky. You're even close. Miami's kicking your ass. They were down 31-17. Take the tie. You never would have thought you had a tie with 5 minutes left. Phil, like 4 pass interference calls in a row to put Ohio State at the goal line. Yeah, that was pretty good. That's like the Notre Dame Miami game when the same thing happened. Miami fumbled. Miami doesn't fumble. The guy's knee was down, or Notre Dame fumbled, and they didn't call the fumble. And instead of Miami having it at the 1, it was still Notre Dame's ball. Yeah, a lot of bullshit with the refs. Bobby, Miami has turned into a complete and utter joke. They were good in the 80s and 90s. Well, they lost Jimmy Johnson, and except for Van Dyke, they haven't had a quarterback. And then they finally get Van Dyke, and what do? They bring in Maurice Cristobal, who's not a good coach. He sucked at Oregon. Hey, let's bring him in here. He used to play for Miami. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and Isaiah Thomas used to play at the Pistons, but he ain't a good coach. Unbelievable. Phil, yes, tell me about Bobby. Been suffering for a long time now. Yeah, I guess. Well, he's still, which I was surprised. I thought you could have made the Tiger team, Bobby. The way they had 6 hitters hitting under 200. You could have been the 4-hitter. I heard Detroit's bringing in the fences again. They haven't figured out that their guys can't hit. So I think they're going to bring them in like 100 feet. And it's going to be like softball. It'll be like 200-foot fences for the Tigers because none of their guys can hit. Oh, my God. They're such a bad team. Now you should hear they're all with the Lions because they won 8 games. So everybody, wait till next year. Yeah, next year they'll win 3 games because the schedule will get hard. And their coach still sucks and Goff's still terrible. The key's the coach, and this Campbell, I was hoping it was the Iowa State coach, is terrible. So they're not going to do shit. Phil, Bobby was boozing a bit back then. His bat swing slowed down too much. That doesn't matter. Just swing 2 bats before you get up and then hit with 1. It'll be much lighter for you. That's what I used to do. Professors, are any of the sports team stadium close to where you live? Yeah, well, Detroit, right? I live near Tiger Stadium and the Red Wings, Pistons, and the Lions. It's all by MGM. So if I were to go to the game, which you would have to pay me to go, I would park at MGM, and I have an MGM card, so I wouldn't have to pay. And I'd walk about 7 to 10 minutes to – I know I've been to Comerica, but I think the Lions is right there too. But you would not get me in a Lion unless I was watching Joe Burrow, and I would go to watch Joe Burrow. I would not go to watch the Lion game. You would have to pay me several $100s to have me go to a Lions game. Professor, when you drank in the past, were you of a liquor guy and beer? No, I never drank in the past. I've never been a drinker. I'm into girls' sex. I'm not into. I've never smoked. never been a beer. I tasted some beer. It was terrible. And liquor, I've had a little. When I worked here, I guess you could call me probably more of I would drink Canadian Club. When I would drink, like if we'd go out on a meeting working at Hiram Walker, I had to drink. So I would get maybe a gin and tonic, maybe a whiskey and Coke until I learned you want whiskey with ice. That's what I would drink. I would drink Canadian Club and I'd be loyal to that. But I wasn't a big drinker, except when it was work and you're supposed to drink. We went to a national sales conference in Georgia near Augusta, but not at Augusta, pretty close to it. And it was a golf out. So it was a national sales conference, 3 days. It was the coolest thing I ever saw. And there was a hole-in-one contest. You could win $1 million if you hit a hole-in-one on a par 3. It was about 165 yards, a little bit uphill. I crushed it. I hit like a 6-iron perfectly. And it was right on line. And I was getting a little excited, like, oh, fuck, I might. And I was a real good golfer. And I'm like, fuck, I might have it. It was right on line. It landed about 10 feet short, but I didn't get 10 feet of roll. I got 5 feet of roll on it. I couldn't believe it. For $1 million fucking dollars. But it was the greatest. It was a national sales conference. So all the different groups from the company, Hiram Walker in the U.S. met there, and it was great. We had the greatest president. It was like working for Vince Lombardi. It was this guy was great. You loved the guy. He'd fire you up, but this guy was just phenomenal. Very good guy. But then they sold the fucking company, and he didn't sell it. We were run by a company in England, and they sold it. But it was the best job I ever had. And I was in finance, but it was just perfect. We'd golf every Friday at the VP's Country Club. Oh my God. Oh my God. Or I'm working for Bernie Madoff at the small company. Unbelievable. Phil the Kill, where is the closest college football stadium to you? I'm not familiar with Michigan cities like that. Well, it's about a half hour away. It's called Ann Arbor. It's called U of M. Tell you, this is the last time they did good was 2004. I go to Michigan games. My dentist gives me tickets. Usually it's against Toledo or Eastern or the MAC schools I get. I don't usually get the Big Ten ones, but I did go to a Michigan-Ohio State game. My brother went there in 74. The one when Pete Johnson scored late and they won 21-14. And I always regretted not teasing that game. I took Michigan in 6. They won by 7. And I'm like, fuck, why didn't I tease it? And then from then on, some 74, I teased it. So I must have done teasers back then. I thought it was the Joe Montana one, but I do remember that game saying, fuck, why didn't I have a teaser on it? But yeah, Michigan is a great place. Ann Arbor is a great place to go see a game. I would highly recommend if you ever get a chance to see Michigan, Ohio State, to see it. It's so electric. Michigan State's a good game. That's about it in the Big Ten. Maybe Penn State, you'd have to go there. But yeah, I've gone to Michigan. I've gone to a few Michigan State games. I was given tickets. It was a Michigan State Notre Dame game, not the 66 game. And it was a pretty good. The Michigan game is so much better than Michigan State Stadium. But there's Eastern and Western and Central and all that shit. But I never go to the pros. If I go to a game, I'll take my girl. She comes to the UCross football game. We're going to a Michigan game. Or I'll take her to an Ohio State game. Some real football. Cool. I'm in a college football desert. Oh, you're in Philadelphia. Temple is the closest stadium for college for me. It sucks. I'm always jealous of how close everyone is. Well, why don't you go to a Pitt or Penn State game? Or there's got to be, North Carolina around you or something? I don't know. Pennsylvania. What's near Pennsylvania? So take a road trip. Go to a Clemson game or something. Yeah. Go to a Georgia game. Go see Georgia play Florida. That's always a good game. Take a road trip. Oh yeah, professor. There's nothing like college football. Yeah, it's absolutely the. I don't even know how anybody goes to a pro football game. Why would you go to a Lion game to see that shit? It's like, why would you buy a Ford car, not an F-150, but a Ford car, which sucks? Why would you buy a Ford product that is a piece of shit because it's made by Ford? Why would you ever buy that? Which means, why would you go to a Lions game who Ford owns it? Now, I did talk about this last time, but I'll repeat it. I plan to hit New Orleans next season. We'll make sure to stop by Baton Rouge for LSU, Florida, or LSU, Auburn, or LSU, Georgia. I think LSU plays Georgia. Now, maybe that's Auburn, Georgia. Let's stop for an Auburn, Georgia game. So here's my take. Everybody here hates that the Fords own the Lions and always blame the Lions' losses because Ford does not know how to hire coaches, and then he never signs the players. So you watch the Lions; they do a one contract. Once the guy's into a second contract, wants more money, they let him go. Look at Slay and all the. Look at who's the guy on the receiver, Galladay. All those players, they're gone. Right? They're good players. Golden Tate, but as soon as they're up for the next contract, they let them go. They will not pay. So everybody wants Ford to sell the team. Well, guess what's going to happen? Ford going to the electric vehicle, as I pointed out, 300,000 in U.S. sales for all electric vehicles. How the fuck are they going to make any money? They make money because they own the Lions, and they make money because they own land around the stadium and around Ford Motor. They own all the land there. But as a business, what are you going to do with 100,000, 200,000, because it's all going to Tesla and GM, electric vehicles that you have invested all this money in, which means they're going broke, which means they'll have to sell the team, which means now the Lions will actually be owned by, well, I'm not sure a good owner, but a different owner. So that will happen in the next year or two. Mark it, Bobby. I mean, Temple was good a few years ago. They had a good team. But, yeah, their coaches keep leaving. So they lost Rule went to Baylor, and then he went to the pros, and he sucked at the pros. So maybe he'll come back to Temple. It just shows you, like, you can be a good coach at Temple and a good coach at Baylor, and you go to Carolina, and it's poison. And a lot of it is you're stuck. Like his quarterback at Baylor was so much better than his quarterback at Temple, at Carolina. That's the problem, right? That's why what's his face? Alabama coach. That's why Saban left Atlanta, because he wanted Drew Brees. They weren't going to get it for him. He had a shitty quarterback. He says, I can't win with a shitty quarterback. That's why he walked out and went to Alabama. You need a good quarterback to win. So if I'm a good coach and I come to Atlanta or I come to Carolina, you better get me a good fucking quarterback. But these idiots don't even know how to get a good quarterback. They don't understand anything about how to view and know what's good and what's bad. That's the problem in the NFL. Most of these quarterbacks suck. I mean, look at you got for Miami this week, Skylar Thompson. He sucked at Kansas State. This is your quarter. You're going to win a playoff game with Skylar Thompson. Okay, I'm not sold on Josh Allen, but I am on Burrow and Mahomes. But Skylar Thompson's not your answer. Why is he in the list? Why is this your quarterback? You can't find a better back? Are you shitting me? Phil, Saban was at. Don't pin it on my poor Falcons. Well, no, he had a bad quarterback, so he quit to go. He wanted Brees. They didn't get it for him. He quits and then goes to Alabama. So he goes LSU, Atlanta, that. Now, he was at Michigan State, but he couldn't handle recruiting against Michigan, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. That's why he went to LSU. He couldn't win here. This is probably his only place he really couldn't win. And then he goes to LSU and wins, and then Alabama and won. Now he's through. He's all done. Yeah, they beat Kansas. I got to watch that Kansas State game. I bet there was a lot of turnovers in it. He was never with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not sure what you mean by Atlanta. Yeah, he was. Was that Bobby Petrino? Or wow, he went to Miami. Okay, yeah, that's all right. So Saban goes to Miami, doesn't get that, and he leaves. I guess it was Miami. Miami, Atlanta, they're the same team. Bobby, yes, Atlanta is suffering enough with fucking Mariota. Yeah, what is that? This is the best quarterback, some washed up running quarterback that you could get. I like their running back they got. Yeah, Petrino went, yeah, and then he had prostitutes or whatever. So I guess Saban went to Miami, and what's so funny is so Patino's at Kentucky or Louisville, and they have the prostitutes. Like that goes on all the time. What did I start the show off with the whole Ukraine thing and Turkey? Uh, with the whole sex trafficking. So what's bad about college girls prostituting at Louis? Why is everybody like so like, oh my God, that's bad? Like, fuck, you don't think it happens at every college in America? There's prostitutes for the football players? Like, really? Just like Alabama doesn't play their players to play. I fear Falcons will get David Carr, and I don't want to struggle with him for it. He's not that bad. I don't blame Carr. I blame this coach sucks. He's terrible, this coach. The guy from New England. He sucked at New England. He sucked when he went to Houston. And then he turns his back on Houston or Denver to be their coach after he said he would. And now here he is. This guy sucks. It's not David Carr. I mean, look at Atlanta with Mariota was decent this year. So I don't blame Carr. He's a good quarterback. Problem is Devontae Adams is now there without Carr. So he's really fucked Devontae Adams. At least he stayed at Green Bay, but he couldn't because he wanted the 20-30 million, and you couldn't pay him and Rodgers and have a team. Phil, I don't see him having a higher ceiling than Matt Ryan. Well, he's younger than Matt Ryan. He's better than Matt Ryan, but he's younger. So I think that's what I'm talking about. But I just take Cameron Rising or Hartman, and you'll be fine for 20 years. Nick, please don't get me started. They use Carr as a scapegoat for their coaching problems and defense. Well, the coach is the problem, and as I keep mentioning, that's your number one factor when we're handicapping is the fucking coach and the quarterback and the defense. That's your triangle for picking games. And Atlanta they weren't really bad this year. They had a good running team until Mariota got hurt. And then even that, I don't mind Ritter. He's not good, but he was okay. But I would see now here's the problem. If they keep Ritter as their guy and they don't draft Rising, they're out of their fucking minds. This is the problem with the NFL. They get a guy who looks decent and they are married to him, like Trevor Lawrence. Instead of getting rid of Trevor Lawrence and picking up Burrow or trading Lawrence now to get Rising's not in there, but if you get Thompson Robinson or one of these guys, I don't think Hartman's in the draft either. That's who you want to get. So I would trade Lawrence for that, but they're too stupid to make that trade. But if they sign Lawrence to a $30 million contract, Jacksonville's all done. I mean, he sucks. He'll prove it to you this Saturday when they get killed by San Diego. Phil, yes, I agree. Hope we get Rising. Yeah, I mean, if he's not the number one quarterback drafted, or if we're Hartman there, and they go to this Alabama guy, they're out of their fucking minds. But I don't think Rising, he's supposedly looking for a 6th year in Utah, and I never heard of him the first 3 years till last year. And Hartman was in the transfer portal, so I don't think Hartman's there. Thompson Robinson, yes, he's definitely. Bo Nix, yes. Duggan at TCU. Oklahoma's quarterback. Oak State, I think he's in the transfer pool, Spencer Sanders. I got to do some research. I would take the Georgia quarterback. I don't know why everybody thinks he stinks. I watched the game film yesterday. Fucking, he was great. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking this guy can't quarterback for. He only won the national title by 80 points. Why do you think he can't quarterback? And he made some beautiful passes. So that guy's a winner. You can draft the Alabama guy. He's not a winner. Georgia's guy's much better. Thankfully, they got Derek Ryder. in the 5th round, so it shouldn't be a big deal to pivot away from him if you need to. He was never good at Cincinnati, Risner. It's Desmond Risner. He was never good at Cincinnati. They'd play like Tulane and Tulsa as 20-point favorites, and they'd win by 10. And it was costing me money because I was laying like 14. Like, what the fuck? This guy can't blow out Tulane and Tulsa. They had defense, but Ritter sucked. So I don't know what his deal is. I think Rising would have announced if leaving, but not. Well, he said he's looking for his 6th season, so I don't see that happening. So now he did get injured in the Rose Bowl. He hurt his left knee. I don't think severe, but they took him out of the game. All right, let's go back to. Let's run through the line one more time. It's 4 games. Let's see. Any news? Frisco still 9.5, 42.5. Nothing moved. San Diego still 1.5, 2.5, 47.5. Buffalo 13.5, 43. Nothing moved. Mini 3, 48.5. Nothing moved. Since he's down to 8.5, 40.5, does this mean Lamar's playing? I love Cincinnati at 8.5. I like them at 9, but 8.5, fuck that. Good price. 8.5, 9, 8.5, 8.5. So everywhere went to 8.5. I love how they are individual casinos. Baltimore injury. Lamar is out. Okay, so what? Lamar's out on here. He's out. What the fuck is the line moving for? So that must be the other quarterback. Huntley is questionable with the shoulder wrist. I have no idea why the line went to 8.5. I would take full advantage and lay 2.5 with Cincinnati, put them with Buffalo, try to get them at 13 or try to do a 7-pointer to get them under 7. But, oh, wait, I haven't finished. I got so excited with Cincinnati going down to 8.5. And Dallas still 2.5, 45.5. Can somebody explain why Tampa's favored? Because I have no fucking idea. Why would they be favored in this game? Does it make any sense to anybody that they are favored? I don't see it. I mean, you want to give me Brady at home and 8.5? Thank you, God. I mean, what are they thinking? I don't know if I take Dallas in 8. Like, if Tampa was at 3, maybe I take Dallas in 9. Maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, Tampa's offensive coordinator is pretty weak. But you want to give me Tampa in 8.5? Holy shit. He should have an axe to grind then after the Rose Bowl disaster. That's good. Well, he's a good player anyway. Again, I don't know why he's coming back first year and not going into the draft. I guess he's got the axe to grind that people don't think he's that good that he needs to play next year. Or they're not saying he's a high enough draft pick. I don't know. Him and Hartman should be 1, too. I really don't get that. This is the problem with the NFL. They'd rather have the Richardson from Florida or Levis from Kentucky. Are you fucking kidding me over these guys? I wouldn't draft Richardson. He's basically Fields. What do I want Fields for? The Bears won 2 games. They're getting the number 1 draft pick. And then I love that. I hear, they're going to go after Nick Smith, the Ohio State receiver who played the first quarter of Notre Dame, pulled his hamstring for the rest of the year, didn't play against Georgia, so he's a quitter. This is your number 1 draft pick, a guy that didn't do anything. The only reason they like him is in the Rose Bowl when everybody was on Olave, he had a big game against Utah. That's it. He had 1 big game. So you're going to make him the number 1 pick with Fields who can't hit the broadside of a barn? You don't draft the receiver number 1. Sorry, and it can't be this guy. I would draft the quarterback and get rid of Fields because Fields sucks. So if you think Fields is your answer, you're dumber than the Lions thing. Tampa Bay in 8.5 against Dallas all day. No way in hell Brady loses Monday night. Well, I don't care what night it is. There's no way in hell Brady loses. See, we found a good. Pretty much, we picked every game. We just got to be careful with Buffalo and the fix of 13.5. Of course, we tease it, so we got to get to 7. The Cowboys are like the Yankees of the NFL. I always keep in mind how you pay a premium to back those teams because so many people bet on them. They add points because of their popularity. Yeah, well, that's where I'm saying you don't have a market on their line is always skewed. That's why I never bet Alabama, and that's why I bet a lot of overs in college because, like Georgia TCU, the line was too high, 12.5, but the under was too low at 60. So we caught them good. That line should never have been under 65, like I said. And even then, they go to 72? What was it? 65 to 7. They play a 72. Like, you've got to be kidding. Wow. And it was all Georgia. I loved it. I never touched Bama games for that. Well, first of all, they never play anybody good, but I did take Tennessee as the dog. They made Alabama, I believe. No, I think I played that game over because I knew Tennessee has a great offense and no defense. And Alabama, I didn't think had that great of an offense and had no defense. And as we see, Alabama had no defense. The only reason they beat Kansas State is they don't throw the ball that well. Like, as you saw, Tennessee lit them up, and LSU lit them up with the backup quarterback. Bobby, what do you think, Professor? I got Bucks, Chargers, Bills, Bengals, and 49ers, yeah, and the over in the Giant game. So you're all set. No, not the Vikings. Yeah, over in the Vikings. So what's the problem, Bobby? So send me about 8 silver for that. As 8 goes to the house, or 7. 7's my lucky number. So I want 7 ounces of silver for information. Basically, now they got to be in teasers, Bobby. So don't fuck that up and bet them straight. I analyze in teasers, and as I've proven, the teaser turns losers into winners, like Georgia, Ohio State. Everybody bet Georgia lost, but us. Because we were laying 0 and they won by 1. That's why we bet teasers. And it was a lock because it was 0. Congratulations, Bobby. You're back down to 40 ounces of silver now. Yeah, but do money line. Oh, no. If you do money line, you owe me 20 ounces. Yeah, you do money line. I might have to suspend you from class for one class. God almighty. If you did money, you gain. Your Buffalo money line. Let's look at this money line crap you guys come up with. Like, what the fuck? Where would you possibly get that? So money line, the Niners, minus 500. Yeah, that seems like a good bet. Instead of laying 3. Okay, San Diego, minus 138. Okay. Buffalo, minus 1,000. That seems like a good bet. Oh, but if you want Miami, it's only plus 660. Why is it a plus 1,000 or 1,990? So lay 1,000 to Buffalo. Minnesota minus 158. I would take the Giants there. Cincinnati's only minus 460. That's a reasonable money line. But I can bet 2.5 and win when they win by at least a field goal. And the money line, Dallas is minus 132, but you only get Tampa with plus 110. Why do that? Take Tampa in the 8.5 at a 110 bet instead of a 112 bet. Fucking idiots. Anybody at best money line should never be allowed to bet again. Over if the Bills are minus 1,000, I will scratch it. No, the Bill in the money line, the Bills are just take the Bills. Jesus. Yeah, I don't allow ignorance in my class. You got to meet the professor's skill set. So that's the playout. We'll be back tomorrow. So you got Seattle, Frisco tomorrow, and then San Diego, Jacksonville. Why you have a Monday night game? I don't fucking understand this. So you're fucking – if Tampa's lucky enough – well, let's say Tampa wins. They got to then play either Saturday or Sunday the next. They lose a game. So you can put it on ESPN on a Monday night. Not even Monday. It's Monday night. You fucked them. You've totally fucked Tampa Bay, Dallas by then playing. You think they're going to play the Sunday night late game? No, not if it's Kansas City or Philly. That game's going to be the late. And then let's say, so Minnie's the 3, but Tampa's the 4. So if Giants beat Minnie, then they go play the Niners. No, they go play Philly, and then Tampa's got the Niners. So Tampa's got a hope. Well, if Tampa's fucked, no, they'll play. So the 1 seed would be if Frisco, Minnie, and Tampa win, which I doubt. I doubt Minnie will win. You'll have Tampa go to Philadelphia, which could be the Sunday night game. And then you'd have Minnie Frisco would be the Saturday night game. Yeah, and then you'd have Kansas City Sunday, but they'd probably put it on Saturday against San Diego, and then you'd have Buffalo Cincinnati would be a great Sunday night game. That's probably what will happen. You're not going to put Kansas City San Diego on the primetime game Saturday when you can put Buffalo Cincinnati on. I haven't locked it in yet, Professor. What are you waiting for? You and gold? You're like in slow motion and everything. You wait to buy your gold. You wait to make your football picks. Stop waiting. Go. I'm annoyed about the only game I care about is Bucks Cowboys because I'm all over the Bucks. And, of course, it's not till Monday night. Got to sit through, stop till then. Well, not only that, Phil, then you're going to get fucked because if Tampa wins, now you got to play maybe Sunday against Philly. You're not even playing Monday night, so you lose basically 2 days because it's Monday night. So you've lost all Monday. So now not only it's not on Sunday, you've lost your Monday. So now it's Tuesday, and the guys are starting to get healed. They're not in a condition to go through, but you got a game Sunday against Philadelphia. What the fuck are the league thinking? That's terrible. Bobby, oh shit, Chargers are now favored. They've been favored, Bobby. They were 2-point favorites. Where have you been? Are you listening to another class giving different lines? The Chargers, how do I talk to you, Bobby? Dallas is favored over Tampa. Cincy's favored over Baltimore. Minnie's favored over the Giants. Buffalo's favored. San Francisco's favored. Yeah, I agree, Phil. It's all about the ratings. Well, not in the playoffs. You're going to get ratings if you played the game tonight. You'd get ratings. Why don't they just have 3 games on Saturday and 3 games on Sunday? God knows they had the championship college games on Saturday. You don't do that to a team, playing them on Monday night, and then the next game is Sunday. And they're the only ones. So whoever wins then gets Philadelphia. What kind of fucking shit is that? That's terrible. So I don't agree with this Monday night crap. And I don't know that it gets you any ratings. I mean, people watch football playoffs Saturday and Sunday. So if you had 3 games Saturday and 3 Sunday, you'd have the same ratings. You're watching Brady. To think it's a Monday night game and it screws them because they get to go play Philly on a Sunday and lose 2 days. You think what the fuck is that? So it's ridiculous, to tell you the truth. No, it's all about money, Bobby, not ratings. That's the problem with it. I'm surprised the game's not in Germany or London. Why isn't the game in London? Then they can really fuck them up. Play it in London on Tuesday and then let them go play Sunday against Philadelphia. I'm surprised the whole playoffs aren't in London and Germany and Mexico and Japan and all these other. I mean, it'd be a playoff game. They'd make a lot of money. They could really charge a lot for that. This is how stupid the fucking league is, right? Let's go. Let's play the playoff game in London. Let's go play San Diego, Jacksonville, in London. They like playing in London. Oh my God. All about the ratings. All right, boys, I've had enough. I am starving. It's been 48 hours, and I got 24 more to go. I got to go make some coffee, tea, and water. All of the above. I need to get something in my body. I did have some water and tea during the show. I could eat like a whole turkey right now, but I won't. This is where it's hard, Bobby. You've gone 48 hours and it's dinner time. It's 4 o'clock. I'm ready to eat. Now, the key's getting past this. So I'm going to go to the pool. I'm going to go work out, which is fine, even though I haven't eaten. And then come, maybe stop at some store where I can at least, pass some time where I'm not sitting looking at food and go from there. So that's what I'm doing. So we'll be on tomorrow morning again. What time are these games? I think they're afternoon and evening. So we've got Frisco at 4:30 on Fox, and then we've got San Diego, Jacksonville on NBC. So CBS gets fucked tomorrow. So it's 4:30, 8:15. Then we got a 1 o'clock game, Miami, Buffalo Sunday. We got the Giants, Minnesota, 4:30 on Sunday. Baltimore, Cincy, Sunday night game. And then God knows Dallas, Tampa on ABC, 8:15. Whoa, are they getting fucked? They hate Tom Brady, I guess. We went over economics, women football, and nutrition. What a class. Appreciate the great work. Well, you owe me some silver here, Bobby. You got my picks. I expect it's $100, so I expect 4 silvers. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. www.teaserking.com. Again, $100 buys you all the playoff picks, but Bobby doesn't know my pick, and he doesn't know my locks, so he's still at a disadvantage. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great day. Good luck on the playoffs. Again, Frisco, San Diego, Buffalo, the over in the mini game, Cincinnati, and Tampa Bay are your winners. Later, Phil.